Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome along to a special watch-along match day coverage here from the second of our UEFA Champions League quarter-finals as PSG take on Aston Villa, which will be covered for us tonight by Mr. Ian Thompson, and Barcelona take on Borussia Dortmund, which will be covered by Mr. Alex Horn. Ian, 2 in a row. 2 nights in a row. How are you?
I know I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm glad I'm not on TalkSport 2 tonight with Alex doing the Barcelona game. but I bet that ends up being the better game because that's just my luck. You know what I mean? But I'm good. It's good to be on with Alex. I haven't been on with him for a while. Saw him on Saturday for the first time. He's a big lad. I tell you, see all these Wuzzle Gummies jokes, they're finished. You know?
Just quickly before I move over to Alex, Ian, PSG, Aston Villa. I think it's the game most people will probably be watching. You looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of, do you know, if there was ever a year for PSG to do it, it's this year. I think Alex and I were talking about that before as well, just in the Edmiston house. Do you want me to give you the team lines, Martin, while we're at it?
Aye, go for it.
Okay, so PSG are doing their usual 4-3-3. So they've got Donnarumma in goals, Mendes left back, Pacho centre half, but Baraldo centre back as well, Hakimi right back, Neves right side of midfield, Vitinha centre midfield, left midfield Ruiz, then they've got Doué, Dembele and Kvara. Let's just pronounce it as Kvara because I know there's a Georgian way of doing it, but Kvara is what he gets called. Over to Aston Villa, doing a 4-2-3-1. That sounds familiar. Martinez, Digne, Torres, Konsa, and Cash. Matty Cash. I need to speak to you, Alex, about how Matty Cash is actually Polish. It's not a very Polish-sounding name, is it?
No, he's definitely not. He's got a Polish passport, doesn't he? And that's how he's got Polish relatives, so he managed to get the citizenship for there. And he actually gets called up for the Polish national team.
Mate, you can show off all you like. I'm still doing this game, all right?
Don't you worry, mate. I'll get you going, right? I'll keep you right.
Right, and I've got Tielemans and Kamara in the middle, Ramsey, McGinn, Rodgers, and one Marcus Rashford up by himself as the one. So, yeah, promises to be good. We've got a wee bit to go before kickoff. We've got 10 minutes to go, but it should be a good game. And if there's ever a year for PSG to do it, it's now. But I just get a funny feeling Aston Villa might be a difficult opponent for them tonight.
Unai Emery in Europe has thrown up a few tactical masterclasses.
Yeah, but I'm just watching Prince William cuddle all the players as they come in and out back off the train.
I believe he was interviewed by a certain Mr. McCoist.
Was he? You like that? Well, he's got the stamp of approval, hasn't he? He gets to interview
the future king. Exactly. Right, Ian, we'll come back to you shortly. Alex, Barcelona versus Borussia Dortmund. This should actually be quite a good game as well.
This is going to be the game of the night, right? I'm telling you now. I got relegated to this game of the night. No, I think this will be a good game. When you look at the top scorers of the Champions League, they all play for these two clubs right now, so I can see a high-scoring game, but also the defenses are quite good as well for both teams. So I expect a very, very good game, but I think Barcelona might eke this one out, in all honesty.
Starting lineups for us, please, Alex.
Starting lineup. So for Barcelona goal, we've got Szczesny, Koundé, Kerbasi, Martinez, and Balde as your back four. De Jong and Pedri as your holding midfielders. Yamal, Lopez, Rafinha, and Lewandowski as your attack. So a 4-2-3-1, as Ian says, a very familiar formation. And for the opposite side, for Borussia Dortmund, also a 4-2-3-1. You got Kobel in goal, Ryerson, Emre Can, Anton, and Ben Sebaini. Then Nemecha and Chukwuemeka as your holding midfielders. Adeyemi, Gittins, Brandt, and Guirassy as your forward line. So a very, very decent side for both teams. I think it's going to be all attack, I think, and we're going to wait and see.
Is this a watch along for Swans?
Exactly. I was like, JD, beat it.
So before we carry on with these two games, me and Ian done for the members last night the watch along for the Arsenal Real Madrid game. Alex, so just to get just to get your take on that game last night, it was surprising.
I mean, for the first 45, it was a pretty slow burner. Not much from either side, but then Arsenal all of a sudden just turned it on in the second half. But you've got to say the man of the night was completely Declan Rice. I mean, the poor defending and the poor wall set up from Real Madrid didn't help, but those are two unstoppable free kicks, and then Mikel Merino capping off a very good Arsenal performance. You've got to say you'd fancy Arsenal to be through now to the last four, but it's going to be a very close one in all honesty.
Yeah, Ian, right off Real Madrid at your peril, though.
Do you know, I was thinking that today because when Arsenal, when you and I watched the Arsenal game last night and you saw them go 3-up, and let's be honest, Real Madrid offered nothing the whole 90 minutes, you just felt, is that going to be enough? Is that going to be enough at the Bernabeu? Because we've seen Real Madrid in recent years with Man City and various other teams turn round big deficits. I mean, they even scraped through near the end of the qualification for the Champions League knockout stages. So, but I think it's beyond them, Martin. I think it's beyond them, and I'll tell you why I think that. Because the last 5 or 6 games, their form's been really inconsistent. They've lost a few, they've drawn a few, and they've been conceding goals in every single game. As to why that is, I do not know. I don't know if maybe some of these players have played too many games or whatever, but I think I saw the odds on them going through it. Is it 5-1? Which, by the way, if you fancy a tenner on something, you'd throw it on that, because that's a bit of that's good odds for that. But yeah, I hope Arsenal go through. But listen, if it wasn't for 2 set pieces and a individual great finish as well, it would have been a different result, because Arsenal still have that problem of not scoring goals. So if Vinny Jr. gets a bit between his teeth and Mbappe get the bit between their teeth over in Madrid, Arsenal could find themselves chasing, being 1 or 2-0 down pretty early doors, and I expect them to kind of hit Real Madrid on the counter attack in the Bernabeu, and they need a centre forward to score goals, which, by the way, that's why I was saying outside of the set pieces, they don't really have one, So it's not a sure thing, is what I'm saying, but this is near as.
Yeah, and I must admit, I haven't seen Alex that much of Real Madrid, but they did just seem to part like the Red Sea for what was that, a spell of like 15 minutes, Alex? Their team just looked as though it disintegrated.
It was 3 goals in 17 minutes, and it just didn't seem like they had any answers for Arsenal. And I mean, we've spoke about this on the EPL show a lot, that Arsenal have had a real issue with scoring goals and having no recognised striker for a lot of the season. But obviously, Declan Rice getting 2 very good free kicks, but take nothing away from that goal from Mikel Merino. It was a great ball in, and he takes it first time and he just hits it across the goalkeeper. Courtois can't do anything about it. But if you're an English team, you're pretty happy that the fact that Arsenal did that last night, because now it's 5 guaranteed Champions League spots for English clubs, and it could be more depending on if they win it and if Man United or Tottenham win Europa League. So you could have as many as 7 teams in Champions League from England next season, which is a scary thought to think. So
especially when the team for Scotland that finishes top needs to qualify.
Exactly. We still need to qualify, and that's 7 guaranteed spots almost. So it's a bit of a scary thought, but take nothing away, I think it's all going to be all guns for PSG tonight. They're not going to want to be outdone by PSG, but they're also going to want to prove a point that an English team actually can beat PSG, because obviously Liverpool failed to get past them, and I think it's going to be a very tough game for Unai Emery's Aston Villa tonight.
Yeah.
Well, Ian, that's the question. What is the game plan? Right, 2 questions, Ian. Right, what's the game plan tonight for Aston Villa, and what will they be happy taking away from the game? Because Liverpool beat PSG at home and it didn't matter. So, what's Aston Villa's game plan tonight, and what will they be happy taking away from that?
I think Unai Emery will instruct the guys tonight that, look, don't come away from tonight's game with the tie out of sight. Let's bring it back to Birmingham, and then we'll take it from there, type thing. That's what I reckon they'll do. Is I think they'll keep it relatively tight at the back, and I think we'll see. Listen, that Marcus Rashford is very, very well. He's very well adapted to suit this type of counter-attack type football. So I think he could be a problem for PSG tonight, one that they don't normally face in Ligue 1. You know what I mean? So I think this will be something that they might kind of struggle with. But I feel I could see maybe 1 or 2 goals in this. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw. But I think if you're Aston Villa and say you lose 1-0 or 2-1, you're feeling fairly confident to go back to the UK with that. I think, because you get to Villa Park, it's a very different game, and I think Aston Villa feel quite confident. But and the big but is, this is the best I've seen PSG in many a year. We've seen a PSG team full of world stars in the past, guys, who have absolutely flattered to deceive. And there's, with the exception of maybe one, maybe Donnarumma, and I would say maybe Dembele, there's no real big world stars in there like they used to have with Messi, Verratti, and several others. So Ramos, Neymar, all these guys that they used to have in the past, and it would achieve nothing. So I think this is just a better team, a clinically better team than they've ever been in the past. So I really fancy PSG. It's a hard one to call. Aston Villa can be a bit of a bogey team to people, but this is the best PSG team I've seen in a while.
Nearly, not quite. Alex, same kind of question to you about your game then. Borussia Dortmund heading to, well, not quite the new camp, but heading to Spain to face Barcelona, because we've got about 4 minutes to go before the games kick off. What are Dortmund looking to do tonight, Alex?
I actually think that Dortmund probably fancy themselves as a bit of a favourite here. I know they're obviously away to Barcelona, but I think they're in this tie as much as Barcelona are. They've been very high scoring right now. They've got a very good forward line with Adeyemi and Bayern Gittins. They've got a lot of pace to get in. I think if they can come away with this game 1 or 2-0, they'll be happy. But I suspect this game's going to be a draw. I'm going to throw my hat and say it'll be a 1-1 draw tonight. Same as Villa, I think. But you, Ian, they need to stay in the tie no matter what tonight. Stay in the tie and not be in a position where they're chasing the game next week. Because when that happens, then I think a lot of heads drop. Question for you for your game, though, Ian.
Yeah.
If you're Marco Asensio, you disappointed not to start against your former employers?
Yeah, I think that was the one, isn't it, that you thought him and maybe Ollie Watkins as well was kind of on the bench as well, Alex, which I thought you quite fancy him for a goal tonight. I don't know if is he not long back from injury or whatever. What's the?
He's just back. He's only back.
I thought that was the case. I found it makes sense playing away in Europe to have that rapid attack from Marcus Rashford. Yeah, but I could see potentially if it goes if the game plan goes as well, if it all goes as planned tonight, I could see maybe Watkins starting back at Villa Park. But Asensio, I mean, you've got to feel a wee bit aggrieved that he's not starting tonight. You know what I mean? But listen, no one expected that 3-0 Arsenal Real Madrid last night, so I think this is another game where it could literally go either way.
Sorry, Ian, is Watkins on the bench? Sorry.
Yeah, Watkins on the bench. Yeah.
That's a strange one for me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was a strange one, but I thought, Alex is quite attuned to his English football and all the rest of it. And I thought I was actually quite surprised Alex didn't bring that up, because maybe I think of late they've obviously just preferred Rodgers, and Rashford is your kind of joker in the pack, isn't it, Alex? So he's the kind of guy that you bring in, and he'll be unplayable if he's in the mood, but that's a big if he's in the mood. You know what I mean? So yeah, to me it'll be interesting. I'm actually interested to see how this one pans out tonight. But I've got a caveat it all with saying this is the first time in many a year that I've been impressed with how PSG are set up.
Yeah, I have to ask you, Alex. Rafinha and the Barcelona team, some stories about him in recent days about being a bit petulant, about maybe being a wee bit too full of himself. Be good to see how he responds tonight.
I mean, he's a very good player. Obviously, he was good at Leeds, went to Barcelona, didn't really hit the ground running. He took a season or two to actually get going at Barcelona. But when you look at the fact he's alongside probably one of the best young players in the world right now, Lamine Yamal, they're scary, the pair of them. And I think he does have a bit of petulance. He probably thinks he's bigger in that team than he is, but he's obviously got Lewandowski in front of him. But he's got a goal in him. It's no doubt about it. Rafinha's got pace and he's got a goal in him. It's just whether he can actually keep his cool, because from watching this Dortmund back line, they know how to frustrate you, especially Emre Can. He will frustrate him all night. He won't give him a minute's peace. And I think that's going to be the biggest task for him, is not getting caught up in that and watching a player come at him all game. So if he keeps his cool, I can see him easily getting a goal. Not a problem.
Right, we are seconds away.
Yeah.
In fact, we have now kicked off, I believe, Ian, in your game.
We are about to. Certainly on my feed hasn't quite kicked off yet. I don't know, have you started?
Yes.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Oh, behind the commentator as well. That's terrible. That's terrible.
That's not good. That's because I'm using the app on the iPad. That's me away now. That's me
Yeah,
away now.
what I find, see, when you use that iPad, it's actually, you need to move the slider along, because it for some reason cuts a few seconds back.
Yeah, I've done that. But so what are
He's
you
waiting
on
to kick off again. He's at the stage of waiting to kick off. He's like, oh no, I don't know what's happened here. Kick off again.
I know. I'm on the Arsenal game from last night, Alex.
Kick off in Spain as well, Alex.
Yeah,
Aye,
so
we
I'm
kicked off as well here, aye.
29, 30, 31 seconds is where I'm at just now.
Ian's proving he can count. There he go. He's got the clock going. He can read and count.
That's why I get the big gigs, mate. You carry on with the Barcelona game, all right?
Don't you worry, mate. I'll get the goal first, right? You just keep watching.
One thing, Alex, I'll point out is it doesn't look a necessarily large crowd.
No, it actually doesn't. To be fair, it looks quite a wee crowd. But as we're saying that, Barcelona are coming forward already. Only 50 seconds on. Rafinha try to find a bit of space. Pedri's just going to knock it back. But it just showed how quick they were to get forward there. Do you know what? It feels almost, when you look at it, it's got like a Hampden feel to it. It feels like they're so far away from the pitch that it probably diminishes what crowd there is, because it just looks like they're so far away.
Does anybody know what stadium it is?
I will just tell you, it is.
So you should have known that. You should have had that in your notes, Alex.
Alex,
it's a Stadio Olimpica. So there you go, right? There's my notes.
Why is it Stadio Olimpica? The fellas in, Alex.
Yeah.
But that's it, Alex.
Why are they playing there?
I've lost you, boys. Can't hear you. Next question.
Anyway, it's a bit of a cagey affair. I'm just coming up on 2 minutes here. PSG have pretty much been in possession of the ball that entire time. And Aston Villa are certainly getting everybody behind the ball at the moment, while PSG kind of feel Aston Villa out and see what's kind of going on without doing anything threatening and saying that. No, it was a shot there, I think, from Dembele.
I was going to ask you about the game last night, Ian. So obviously you and Martin watched it. Do you think this yellow card rule is a bit silly when it comes to European competitions, that you can carry on a booking? Obviously, Camavinga got booked, and that meant he was missing the second leg anyway. Then he gets himself sent off, so he's done. But I mean, from the start of the game, he was on a tightrope already without even being booked. It's a bit silly.
He was. Listen. We're bringing it back to Rangers, Alex. We've got 4 players sitting on a yellow card at the moment. I think
cleared out there by Dortmund.
We've got, I think it's Yefte, Barron, and 2 others that I can't remember that are sitting on yellow cards. That if they get booked tomorrow, the mystery.
Barron, Egerman, and Raskin, they're all on the booking.
That's the 4. So any of them get booked, they're out for the return leg. The leg in Spain. So I mean, don't get me wrong. I think you could see Carlo Ancelotti didn't even look Camavinga's way. When he went off, and quite rightly so, because to be honest, he deserved what he got. In my opinion, there was absolutely no need for that petulance to boot the ball away. I get it, you're 3-0 down, but you're 30 seconds, Alex, 30 seconds away from the full-time whistle, and you've now given your manager a problem that he didn't need to have. As Kvara attacks the left-hand side.
This has been all Barcelona, the first opening 4 minutes. It's been all Barca. They've just beat Dortmund. They've just been hemmed in their own half. They can't really even get out.
It's a very, very high press, Alex.
It is. And they're just trying a bit too much here, but good from Dortmund. A bit of composure there on the left. But again, they've given the ball away, and Barca are just recycling it again. I don't think they've got many options for the pace on the wing, because when you look at it was a great flick there from Lewandowski. Here comes Yamal though. You mean Yamal? He's cut inside. Oh, what a save from Kobo. Great save that is. Cut inside, left 2 defenders, and Just gets the
Oh.
shot away. Good save from Colbert to push it
Man
away
on the
though.
break. Neves has put it over to Dembele. Oh, well saved. Shot there. Well saved from Martinez.
Was that PSG trying to walk the ball into the net, Ian?
Do you know, not really, but Aston Villa have got a real low block going on at the minute. You know, they really get everyone behind the ball, and PSG have been pretty much in total domination of possession so far. I don't know where you are. I'm just approaching 5 minutes now, Martin. Don't know what kind of timeline you're on. But to be honest, Aston Villa haven't really had the ball yet.
No, they've barely touched the ball. The same as the both games are actually kind of going the same way right now. Barcelona and PSG having all the possession, created a wee chance. Oh, both games are almost identical.
Yeah.
Jamal,
No.
he's just hit that across goal, but that was very selfish there. He's trying to hit that from almost an impossible angle, and you think that Lewandowski's probably the man to aim for in the middle, but he's tried to hit it. He's almost on the touchline when he hits it, so you think get the ball in the middle, but he's hit a shot, and he's maybe hoping that it's going to deflect off the keeper or one of the centre backs as he hits it across goal.
He's got to put that into the box, Alex. He's got to put that into the box.
I mean, when you look at the position that Lewandowski was in, he's got to aim for Lewandowski.
He gets a bit of the break of the ball, but if you look, Lewandowski's coming right in at that front post. Just a simple pass, and that's 1-0 to Barca.
100%. 100% agree with it. And that's just a silly ball there from Chukwuemeka. He's just left that and let it run out of play instead of trying to control it and get it down the line.
In terms of this PSG Aston Villa game, Ian, PSG have just picked up where they left off with Liverpool, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Just total domination. They just, do you know what, Martin? They just feel really measured and well drilled compared to any other PSG team we've seen in the past. That was very much relying on individual brilliance.
Rafinha, though, edge of the box. Oh, what a save that is from Coble. What a save. That's a great save. Good work there from Rafinha to cut down the right-hand side. Just cuts it, left-hand side, cuts it back in. And it's a great save from Coble as Lewandowski smashes the ball at him. But that PSG 1-0 Barca.
PSG are still pressing here. They've Ramsey's just conceded a corner. Corner's been played short. Back out to the wing. Kvara kind of chopped a wee bit there.
I think he's died.
Fantastic play from Dembele. I tell you what, if he'd have stayed down there, there'd have been a decision to have, Martin.
I think he's dived there, Ian.
I think he's had a wee dive. Let's look at it. Oh, the leg comes out.
Does, but I think he pulls it away in time, and I think...
Have a look. Here's your better angle now. Oh.
I think it's a dive, I think.
Good from Yamin Yamal.
Yeah, I tell you, if he goes down, though, Martin, it's a decision.
No, if he goes down, the ref probably gives it, and then VAR, very difficult for VAR to overturn. I think he's dived there.
Yeah. The fact he got up so quickly kind of gave it away, didn't it?
But again, Ian, Aston Villa are under all sorts of pressure.
Oof. They are. They're absolutely up against it. I mean, they just can't get the ball. Never mind any kind of passages of play, guys. You know what I mean? It's just Aston Villa just... do you think a wee bit kind of deer stuck in headlights at the minute? It feels like a little bit of that, you know, wee bit of inexperience.
It's almost kind of feels as if Emery's sent them out to just not concede.
It feels like that. But to be fair, that would be my tactic too, coming here. That would be my tactic too, coming here. But listen, if Aston Villa can ride out the first 20 minutes and, you know, their confidence will start to grow. But at the minute, it is one-way traffic.
Borussia Dortmund finally getting up the pitch, Alex.
They are. They finally got up. A good bit of hold-up play from Adeyemi and Guirassy, and they've managed to get themselves a corner. So hopefully a chance to actually get a ball whipped in here. They've obviously got the height of the back line and Guirassy. Chukwuemeka's not too small either, so you wonder if they're actually going to get something on the go here.
And can I just put a shout out to Do You Know Who I Am, Connor? If he's on my Discovery right now, can you tell me to get off because I can't put it on my laptop and watch the other game or bring it up to the same time Martin's on? Yeah.
Ian, just a word on PSG and their passing ability around about that box.
Hold on, this Carver ball in, Dembele with a shot over the bar.
Corner.
Looks like it's a by kick. Ref's giving a by kick.
Could be a corner. Ian, PSG's passing ability around about the edge of that box, they're so quick.
They're really quick. They're all working really hard for each other. And this is what I talk about, Martin, when, this is a team, not a team of individuals. This is a team. I'm quite impressed with PSG. And I would fancy, going on current form, I would say PSG are the kind of quiet favourites for me at the moment, ahead of Real Madrid. However, we know that Real Madrid can just pull it out when they want to, So, but to me, PSG have been consistent in this tournament and really difficult to score against.
They've got a world-class goalkeeper, though, don't they, in Donnarumma?
Yeah. If things are going to set pieces and penalties, Alex, that's who you want. Saying that, Martinez is no slouch. He's good at that stuff as well, It
is two excellent goalkeepers on show tonight, it has to be said.
Yeah, absolutely is.
He's very much a wind-up goalkeeper, though, Emi Martinez, isn't he? That's what he's been obviously known for, is winding up opposition players.
Argentinian, isn't he? They all wind up,
As we see the England manager, Ian, Thomas Tuchel, in the crowd tonight. He maybe keep an eye over maybe Marcus Rashford. Former
manager of PSG as well, is he not?
Yeah.
That's it. I would imagine he would be. Yeah, that, and maybe, if Ollie Watkins gets on at some point as well, that's another guy that's on his radar. It's the kind of, to be honest, you would almost expect the English national manager to be at all of the quarterfinals. Looking at everything that's kind of there, if you like. Whoa.
I think there's a man that he's probably got an eye on that goes under the radar a wee bit. Morgan Rogers, he's been phenomenal for Villa this season. I think he's probably one that would deserve a call-up. But the position that he plays, it's probably so stacked in that England squad that he's probably just unlucky to be the player that he is right now. He's not going to see much time.
I tell you what, though, guys, you've got Hakimi at the right-hand side and you've got Kvara at the left-hand side of PSG, and they are causing problems. They are absolutely causing problems. Aston Villa have got no real answer for it. What PSG are missing at the moment is a bit of clinical finishing inside the box in the 18-yard line. That's all they're missing just now. But I think that will come. We're only 12 minutes in.
I have to say, good, decent play for John McGinn there. It buys team. It is a free kick, but get the free kick, carry the ball just a wee tiny bit, and just let Aston Villa breathe a wee bit. Ian.
So you're breaking up there. I thought you said John McGinn, was it? It was all right. It was good. He used to listen. John McGinn did what John McGinn always does. Used his body shape really well. And kind of fended off the central midfielders. But listen, as time goes on, as time passes, if PSG don't take these chances, Villa's confidence will grow.
Certainly will.
In fact, they have a set piece here, and I think they're just going to launch this long into the box by the looks of it.
Dortmund have not settled in this game one bit. They have been all over the place. I think the fear factor from Barcelona, they're just constantly on them. They've got so much pace to keep them going that they've just not been able to settle into any shape. They're chasing shadows almost right now.
Well, I tell you what, that's the first bit of attack we've seen from Aston Villa, and Donnarumma didn't cover himself in glory there.
I was going to ask you there, Ian, was he a bit lucky?
Yeah, he was a wee bit lucky because he kind of came out for that half-heartedly, and then he kind of killed the pace of the ball. Luckily, it fell to one of the PSG defenders.
You go out wide with this.
So this is much more professional than last night, Martin. You and I were just shooting the breeze talking about this is Sky Sports stuff.
No, this is better than Sky Sports.
Came on here for a relaxing
Mr. Watch-alongs here, so you have to be professional. When I'm on it, you have to.
I remember your early watch-alongs, mate. There's nothing professional about them.
Oh, tell me about it. Nothing at all, mate. Not a thing.
But Dortmund, Alex, I hear what you're saying about Dortmund, about them being under the cosh, but the last couple of minutes came back into it and get the ball into the box. Probably should have done a little bit better.
I think that it has to do a bit better on the wing there, because there's a few attackers in the middle for Dortmund, and they've just not done enough to get the ball forward. But here come Barcelona again. That was a great pass from Lewandowski, but great from Emre Can just to cut it out. but they're starting to find their space in the middle to get the passing lanes going. There just seems to be a bit of nervousness from the front three.
Okay, here's another ball out wide to Kimi, and it's just good goalkeeping from Martinez.
Oh, Guirassy is so unlucky not to get a touch.
I just wanted to say, I just saw Paul's comment there, Martin. He says, Martin, we update for you after the pod earlier. I get about tomorrow is Moffat. Paul, I don't know how many times if you've been to Moffat. I used to live in Abington, and that, I don't know if you've tried the Moffat toffee. It's unbelievable. So pick us up a wee jar of that while you're down there. Castle Douglas is nice too, down in Dumfriesshire. It's nice.
Big chance there, you mentioned that, Alex, for Guirassy, just offside.
Just offside, aye. But again, a good ball to get through, but it just shows that getting out wide is probably going to be their way to get goals here. They've obviously got some pace out wide with the wingers, obviously, Gittins and Adeyemi. So they're just going to need to keep it that. But I think Barcelona staying a bit composed. But then Barcelona come right up the other end, and Emre Can has to knock it out for a corner to Barcelona.
Yeah, I think Aston Villa here, Martin, are just slowing things down a wee bit because PSG have been dictating play. So they're just kind of taking a wee rest and just breaking up the PSG's momentum because
26% possession for Aston Villa, Ian.
Yeah, I mean,
no shots on target. No shots.
Nah, no shots. They've nowhere near it other than that set piece that got launched at the back stick. That was essentially it. And Donnarumma kind of invited them in. There was no need for that mistake.
Sure, that's a booking.
What's a booking?
Has to be a booking for the Barcelona forward there, for the Barcelona defender Balde. Ball forward, and he's running through. He's been taken out of the game there, and the referee just waves it away. It's quite clear a free kick. He stands on his toe. It should be a booking for breaking up a dangerous attack.
Speaking of bookings, that's Matty Cash in the book, guys, for bringing down Kvara. Really typical Kvara doing what Kvara's doing. He's running at the back line. And to be fair, Martin, I think if you've seen that, I think Cash probably had to make that foul. Because
just caught the tail end of it where it looked like Kratish Vikula, or however you say his name. Actually kicked Matty Cash. I would need to see it again, but I didn't get a very good view at it. I was too busy looking at the foul in the Barcelona game, and Alex, I completely agree how that's not been given as a yellow card.
Well, Cash in the end came through the back of Kvara and he was rightly booked, to be fair.
Right, okay.
But anyway, free kick to PSG in quite a dangerous position, but the medics are on scene to Kvara just now, so there'll be a wee bit of a delay.
Yeah, well,
he must be a standout in that Georgian team, Kvara.
Yeah.
Alex. Oh, jeez, what a player.
Yeah, he's probably the best Georgian player they've got right now. But then it puts a lot of pressure on just his shoulders to be the standout for Kvara.
Ball played short.
I was surprised.
Hakimi, straight at the keeper, straight into Martinez's chest.
It's a pure shot. It's a pure shot.
Another corner here to Barcelona.
I was surprised, Alex, that of all the clubs that he picked PSG. Now I can understand why now, but at the time when he went to PSG, I was surprised.
Yeah, I mean, he was obviously a very hot asset at Napoli. They wanted a good fee for him, but I thought surely PSG is not the place to go. Yes, you're going to get trophies winning the league, but it just seems like he's been a good fit. You mentioned it earlier on, and they've lost a lot of like the superstars, but yes, they've still got great players, but they're playing as a team now rather than individuals. When they had like Mbappe, Messi, Neymar, Verratti, they played as like these were the superstars. They have to dictate the play. Right now they're playing as a unit, and I think Kvara just fits into that system really nicely. And I think if he's going to win a Champions League, this is probably his best bet.
Oh, this is tight stuff, Aston Villa.
Is this going to be
inviting trouble?
Ian, I have to ask Ian, has the referee been a wee bit in
pro PSG? Possibly. It's kind of but momentum's with PSG, so you'll find that refs will kind of back the team that's trying to do the most damage and play more football. You'll often find that it'll kind of back that team. But just on Kvara there, Kvara's getting to do at PSG what he did at that amazing season in Napoli, Alex, and it was just a joy to watch.
Oh, he definitely was. Him and Victor Osimhen were just unbelievable in that Napoli team, and I think he's obviously just got the ability to show it again because he's playing out wide, but he gets the ability to come inside and dictate play in the middle of the park as well. So I think it shows that he's got the ability to do it. He's obviously still a young lad, Kvara as well. So it'd be interesting to see if he stays at PSG for a few years or if he's only a couple of seasons and he dips somewhere bigger.
I tell you what, Matty Cash is going to have to be careful. He's just going in there, get in there again. You know,
that looked like a bit of a yellow card to me there, Ian. I think he's
well,
if he hasn't already been booked, I think he gets booked there.
Yeah, you need to watch that because there's going to be a lot of that type of challenge, and they've got Hakimi on one side, Kvara on the other. There's going to be some late challenges going to.
I will say to Fergie in the comments is that the games are on TNT Sports 1 and 2 or on Discovery Plus. There, Fergie has. Well, I think it's just the Aston Villa game that's on Discovery Plus.
No, they're both on Discovery Plus.
Are they both on Discovery Plus?
Yeah, they're both on
it. Discovery 1 and 2. So they're both on it.
Discovery Plus is TNT, isn't it? Is it not all the one thing? Yeah, it's all the one thing. So, yeah, with the exception of Amazon, Phil Bezos coming in and taking out the Real Madrid-Arsenal game.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all on TNT.
I don't know why they've done that, to be fair, because it's a bit silly to have one game at the whole group stage on Prime and then the rest is all on Discovery. It's just a bit silly, but it got the numbers up for Amazon Prime yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a difference between turning your Prime back on and not, Alex. And I'll just say, I'll watch the Arsenal Real Madrid game. And tell you what,
how do you guys feel about the actual TV companies? I mean, I know that we always say that nobody should have a monopoly, right? Nobody should have a monopoly. But how much cheaper would it be for everybody if, say, for example, Prime had the rights to the EPL, the SPFL, the Europa League, the Conference League, the Champions League? Do you think we could ever get back to a point where one company just comes in and takes it all? And would that be better for us?
Oof, that's a big question that deserves a big answer, to be honest. You know what I mean? So, I mean, don't get me wrong. It certainly will. It certainly will. I mean, if you take Amazon Prime taking the Arsenal Real Madrid game, for example, right? If Jeff Bezos decided that he wanted to take more of football, which, by the way, he has over Christmas periods, from 2 or 3 years ago, he used to play all of the English Premier League. Of the holiday fixture, Alex, if you remember, they would put them up. And to be honest, they were just included with Prime. There was no pay-per-view for that. That was just Prime again. Oh.
I do think though, Ian, there's an opportunity though when you look at the fact that Sky right now have got like Sky Sports, then they've got the Sky Sports Plus, which can get all the championship games on. But you can't get them at 3 o'clock. That's always going to promote a bigger issue because there's no way to get them all with this 3 o'clock blackout. So unless you want to watch your French, your Spanish, your Italian, whatever, they need to figure some way of getting these games back on telly because with this 3 o'clock blackout, you're getting no football on a Saturday.
Absolutely. And just on Martin's point there, Stuart, I agree with Stuart there. Prime is about the only decent channel out there. Mm-hmm. He's done away with Sky 2-year full BRB. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's.
Is that a foul there on Ramsey, Ian? I
just caught the end of it. It looked. I need to see it again if it shows it again, Martin. But I was busy talking to Alex and just caught the end of it.
It looked a really poor challenge for me. That again, the ref just waved off. I think Aston Villa can probably feel slightly unlucky. The decisions are on the end of.
There's Ollie Watkins out warming up.
I do feel some of the referees, especially the one in this Barca Dortmund game, are not wanting to put the players that are already done a booking because Benzema has created 2 or 3 fouls now, and he's been let away with it. Adeyemi has just picked up a yellow, but it's the players that are going to miss the next leg. He's kind of avoided booking them. The 2 wing backs for Dortmund have both created numerous fouls and still been let away with it.
I don't think that Adeyemi one there's a foul though that he's been booked for. It's certainly not a yellow card.
No, Koundé's got more a hold of him, but then Koundé just as soon as he feels the contact on the back of his shoulder, he's just instantly going that's a foul, and the referee's bought it and booked him. But I don't think it's a foul.
It's a dive. It's one of
There's Ramsey again doing what we discussed earlier, guys. He's just slowing the play down. It's just taking a good couple of minutes there to to take the momentum out of PSG, because it feels like a goal's coming for them. It feels like it might. So anything Aston Villa can do to slow it down, absolutely.
You'll be reading
it's 1-0 Barcelona. Ball whipped down for a free kick. It's knocked back across by Rafinha, and it looks like it's Kerbasi at the back post, just taps it in. Or is it? No, it's Fermin Lopez actually. It's tapped it in, and it's Barcelona 1, Borussia Dortmund 0.
It's poor defending, Alex. It's very, very poor defending. Rafinha tries to grab it, doesn't he? He tries to take it as it's trickling towards the net as well.
It's such poor defending when you look at it. There's no Borussia Dortmund player reacts to it, and 3 Barca players react to it. Maybe offside. Rafinha looks like he's maybe off, and he taps it in. This could be chopped off. Rafinha taps it in over the line, and he looks like he's offside.
I tell you, that in your case will be absolutely raging.
This is going to be tight, by the way. Does he touch it before it's over the line or not? Because it looks like Rafinha puts this in, and if he does, it could be chopped off for offside. I think what they're going to check is Kobel gets a touch on it, but
Rafinha tapped that in.
Pushed away by Martinez. There's PSG going back, slow build up, and then they're just lacking that little bit of cutting edge in the middle. That's all they're doing right now. And here they come again, slow build up from the back. I'm really impressed with how well drilled this PSG team are. They're well drilled.
That's unforgivable, Alex, if they get offside and Rafinha just try to be greedy. Rafinha can clearly see. I mean, first of all, it's poor from Borussia Dortmund because it's a free header at the back post. It's a lovely little flick, and if this gets chopped off for offside, you're angry. I mean, Rafinha looks as if he doesn't really care.
No, he doesn't. And do you know the thing is, Rafinha's pulled a Davy Nugent there. The ball's already over the line, and he's still pushed it back in. So
it's clear it's going in. He doesn't need to touch the ball.
It's definitely going on. It's been given. It has been given. So it is Barcelona 1, Borussia Dortmund 0. It's been given.
And is it given as Rafinha's goal?
Yeah, it has. It's been given to Rafinha.
So he's not caring at all. He's not caring at all. What's going on now?
The only reason I think that's been given, Martin, is because Kobel gets a touch on it and he knocks it onto the attacker. I think that's the only reason they're going to give that, because that's quite clearly offside, the way he's standing. It'll be interesting to see the lines being drawn for that.
Yeah, it will be. But there we go. Barcelona 1, Borussia Dortmund 0. For a free kick, by the way, that wasn't actually a free kick.
I will say, by the way,
that's another thing.
Adeyemi needs to be careful, though, because he's now getting himself caught up a lot here.
Marcus Rashford giving the ball away here. That out ball to Marcus Rashford isn't really working at the moment. How much of that is Marcus Rashford's fault is up for debate, but I can see why they get Ollie Watkins. He contributes more towards the collective team effort, I think. You know what I mean? Marcus Rashford is, fast on his feet, and it's a good out ball when you've got a PSG in possession as much as they are, but he's not really getting much joy just now, albeit the service isn't great. But here we go, PSG building up, sitting across the 18-yard line again. Aston Villa's 18-yard line, just waiting to get that right move. But I've got to say, Villa have been quite resolute with their defending, Martin, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, to be fair, and I was just about to bring that point to you, that we're nearly half an hour into it, Ian, and for as much as it has been all PSG, kind of similar, I suppose, to the Liverpool game, and Liverpool managed to sneak a win.
It is. And PSG have only had 3 attempts on target.
Yeah.
So as much as they've had complete domination, they're just not having the cutting edge, which is kind of what Dembele is there for. You know what I mean? So
Yamal was through here. He's clean away. Oh, he has sold Rafinha down the river with that pass. That is shocking. He just has to tap it into him, and he's almost trying to lift it across, and it's easily collected by Kobel. That is a very poor ball. I will say, though, that it looks a lot more like Dortmund are trying to come back into it. They're trying to react to the game more, but all that's doing is leaving more gaps at the back now for Barca to just try and exploit it.
Yeah, very, very, very poor for Yamal. It was not an easy pass, but not a difficult pass, if that makes sense. He should be able to slot that into him. But Borussia Dortmund in the middle of the park, Alex, are at 6s and 7s, just giving the ball away.
No,
They very much are. The midfield two, Chukwuemeka and Nemecha, are just getting pulled apart. The Dortmund really need to find out a way to stop Barcelona here because they've got no answers at all. As they come forward, though, Nemecha's finding Adeyemi into the box. Great defender from Koundé. That should be a corner, but it's a goal kick. I thought
this is a bit better from Aston Villa, guys. They've had a bit of possession back, which is what you're kind of hoping for. You're half an hour in, and this is the longest passage of play I've seen them have since the start of the game.
It's a disappointing pass, though, Ian.
Just seen it now. I'm still on exactly 30 minutes. So yeah, just saw that now. It was a poor pass into Rashford. He was never getting that. And
they have to, Aston Villa, try and at least keep the ball. And when they are going forward, they need to play that right pass because Rashford's shown his pace in behind can be deadly. He's done it at the Parc des Princes before, or whatever their stadium's called.
Yeah,
that's again, it's quite similar to the Barcelona game. It's a difficult pass, but it's not impossible to Tielemans and Jerry Rashford.
But Martin, that's exactly what you're saying though with Borussia Dortmund. That's exactly what what you're saying with Villa. Dortmund need to be doing the same. They're getting the ball and they're just trying to force it forward. Mm-hmm. They're doing nothing to actually try and control possession and get a bit of the ball. So they're forcing it, then they're losing it, and all of a sudden, Barca are just coming forward again.
And Gallant, I tell you what, you might be at the same time as me, but I pay full pelt for Discovery. So maybe I've got a question to ask myself there. In fact, Martin's using my password and he's 30 seconds ahead, so I don't know what's going on.
I will say, by the way,
Alex, did you get my password as well, or did you get your own?
No, I don't know. No, I don't. I'm on my own tonight. I tried to get on TV, but I'm not going to lie. I tried to, but it said there's too many devices using this. So I was like, right, that's fine.
Everybody in their Apple's using it.
I know. I think you get 4. I think it's 4. You're like, is it 3? Is it? Mm-hmm. So I can't get in the laptop, which would bring me up to speed, time wise, which would be great. So you're right. If the app's used on the iPad, Martin, it takes about 30 seconds off you.
Mm-hmm. You can change it up, change it over at half time.
I will do. I'll change it at half time.
No,
while we've got a bit of a lull in both games, kind of. Tomorrow night, guys, Atletico Bilbao at home. How are we feeling about it, Alex, the night before?
Don't know, mate. I'm not going to watch the game. I'm just going to hide under my covers. Just no watch it at all.
Yeah, I know that's not true because you're down for the watch along.
No, mate. Listen. I think it's Rangers are going to have to play to whatever strengths they've got this season because they're losing, obviously, John Suter and Diamande tomorrow night. So it's going to be a scary thought to think that those two are out regardless. But when you look at the attack and the forward line of Athletic Bilbao, it's a scary, scary front line. Ian, one of the biggest things though is that they've not got their number one goalie. And Unai Simon, he's been rotated out, so that's a bit of a bonus for Rangers. But
and they've gone through a bit of a. I'm hearing they've gone through a bit of a not so great run in form. Is that true as well?
I think they're 4th in the league, are they not?
I know they're 4th in the league, but I think as a most recent form, let's have a quick. That may be.
They drew the last 2 games. They drew the last 2 nothing each.
Yeah.
So
there we go. So listen, if we're going to take encouragement, we're going to do that. But it was interesting. I put out a poll today on our socials saying to everyone, for you, who starts at number 9? And I think it was overwhelmingly 75% out of the 500 or so voters voted for Egeman starting at number 9.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't help myself. I had to vote for Egeman. I was like, nah, I can't go against him at this point. I have to vote. So. Yeah. But no, I think it's going to be an interesting one to see, though. Do we go Dessers? Do we go Egeman? Do we play Danilo? Because obviously, when you were listening to Barry Ferguson, he said a lot of players were going to get dropped. So it'll be interesting to see who actually.
Yeah, well, he wasn't as vehement with that as he was tonight. He wasn't as vehement as he was after the Hibs game. But I get that you're totally emotional after losing at home for the 5th time in a row. But
unbelievable.
Hold on, Aston Villa on the break. PSG are caught out of possession here. Unbelievable. Yuri Tielemans.
Come on, Ian, get the commentary on the goal. We need to get what's happened here.
Yuri Tielemans just squares it across the box. and Rodgers completely unmarked at the back post, puts it past Donnarumma, completely against the run of play. But this is what happens. This is what happens in European football. And this is what actually at the start of the game I actually said, if Aston Villa can, outsee the possession that PSG will have at the start of this, then their confidence will grow. Because PSG, as much as they've been in total control of the game, haven't really looked like scoring as such. You know what I mean? There's been no clear goal, but that's been poor defending there, Martin. I don't know.
It all starts for John McGinn.
It does.
Who?
I don't know. It's twice he's said that name. I don't know who that is. But
I did say to you earlier on that Morgan Rogers is one that probably we watched by Tuchel, and a goal like that's going to do him no amount.
Well, have you seen the goal, Alex?
No, I'm not watching that game.
The scoring of the goal was the easiest part of that move, Martin, wasn't it? You know what I mean? So that was very much in at the back stick.
You dumpling. Karasi is absolutely...
As Martin rightly points out, Aston Villa's number 7, who I keep, again, can't remember his name. He, what do you call it? He dispossessed PSG midfielder and set up that move. So
Karasi was one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Alex, talk me through, please. Please talk me through that miss.
I mean, listen, the ball comes over the top. Garassi he's in acres of space. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. The ball
onside,
and he kicks it fresh air. He kicks nothing, and it should be one each because the Barcelona defenders completely switch off, and it should be Dortmund 1, Barca 1, but we're still sitting here 1-0. Bit of a scuffle on the corner there as well between Balde and Ryerson, but we're just going to need to wait and see. Good ball over the top here. If Gittins can get it, he just can't get it. Been a bit quiet.
Multiple man here makes a really good point. All that tippy-tappy football, and they get caught by a Scotsman charging into folk. And that, you know what? That's a little snippet of how I think the game is almost kind of consumed itself a little bit. We've gone far too tippy-tappy. So if anyone shows a little bit of the old 4-4-2, a little bit of strength, which is why I'm always piling on about how weak Rangers are. We lack strength all over the pitch. You know what I mean? So, but, I can see, maybe not the traditional 4-4-2, big guy, little guy up front, as much as I would love to see that. I can see it reverting back to a wee bit more of that in the future because, I mean, let's be honest as well, as a spectacle, it's not great to watch unless you're the very best at that type of game.
Yeah. And you have to say, Ian, that this is exactly the game plan Emery would have set up.
Yeah. Well, listen, Aston Villa have ridden the luck in terms of the fact that it's just not happened for PSG in front of goal tonight. Yeah, for all that possession, you would expect them to get a goal. And by the way, we're only, 38 minutes in. This is nowhere near over. PSG will still fancy this because as Aston Villa attack again, oh dear, Matty Cash.
Well, you have to say, it's just coming up on screen there. Total attempts for PSG 9. 3 on target. 3 on target. Aston Villa 2, 1 on target.
Yeah, there we go. It's all about conversion rates, not attempts, isn't it?
See, if you're Borussia Dortmund there, by the way, you're absolutely raging because you've got Barca on the counter-attack there.
Referee.
The referee just gets completely in the way of it. He stops all momentum. I mean, he doesn't need to be standing where he's standing there, Martin. That's easily a 1-2, and he just breaks up all the play. And if I'm the Borussia Dortmund, I'm absolutely fuming that he's broke that up there because they were getting forward. There wasn't many defenders back for Barca in that moment.
I mean, here we go, guys. Normal service has resumed. We've got PSG cutting in from the right-hand side. Oh! Did that go in, Martin?
No.
I don't think it did. But that was a wee shot there. To be fair, Martinez should have had a better hold of that shot. Yeah.
Oh, is it one each?
No, it's not. Well, hold on. Unless Martin knows 30 seconds further ahead, knows more than me. But otherwise, corner to PSG. And we have... Yep. Cutting into the left-hand side. Oh my God, what a goal. What a goal.
Once Ian looked at the comments there, they're all talking about what a goal. And Ian was
goal. To the screen. And that wasn't catch. Who was that? Torres, yeah.
Dewey.
Dewey, so it was Dewey, yeah, brilliant. What a finish.
Game, who scored.
Top right-hand corner, absolute beauty. Keeper had no chance, absolutely no chance. And to be honest, on the balance of play, they probably deserve that. Yeah,
I mean, like you say, it's a corner, just a short corner taken just outside the box, and you can't hit it any sweeter than that with your right foot. It dips as it goes in the net.
Yeah, listen, Dewey runs in, cuts inside to the right, runs along the 18-yard line, parallel the 18-yard line, and lets rip. And by the way, what a finish!
I think that's quite poor for multiple man in the comments. Looks like Martinez could have jumped to save that. It's not in the corner.
I mean, it's not in the corner. He's right. It's actually not in the corner.
It's a sweetly hit strike, though, Ian.
Yeah, it's a sweetly hit strike, and the keeper was off his line. So, you know, he's going to get caught by that. And the sheer pace of it took it past him anyway, guys.
Do you know what's poor? Martin pulled an Aaron. He just sat there with the face on him, gave it away, just like, and then sat there. He's pulled an Aaron.
I know. I need to change this at half time. I'm not having him 30 seconds ahead of me. It doesn't work.
Be your own device.
I know, my own device as well.
Another chance there, Alex, for Borussia Dortmund.
I mean, Gittins is unlucky, but he hits it straight at the keeper again, Szczesny in goal. But it's a good ball across from Adeyemi. Nobody's there to pick it up in the middle, and he's unlucky to be free at the back post and not get a shot away. That challenged the keeper more because the keeper just had to go down and get it. But I don't think Szczesny's had very much to do in the Barcelona goal so far.
No, he hasn't. And it's just amazing that Szczesny's the Barcelona goalkeeper for me. But yeah.
And Jordy, if I did that, Jordy, the European football watch-alongs would be over. Right?
I'll have I pay for my own devices. Thank you very much.
Very good.
What's your login password, Alex?
You mean you pay Dangerous Dave Gallant's pal for your stick? Is that what you're saying now?
What are you talking about? That's plenty.
Oh,
that's a poor challenge for you. But Rashford actually, Ian, does well there.
I'm not at that bit yet. I've got the PSG guy rolling about, unless that's been missed.
I think you might have missed it there, but that was a poor challenge for Tielemans. He stands right when he's
seen it now. Yes, that was a poor challenge. Tielemans studs literally roll over the top of the PSG player's boot, Martin. So I wonder if he'll get called back to have a look at that, but maybe not. Obviously, that hasn't happened.
No.
Yeah. I was lucky to get away with that. So as much as the ref, as you think's maybe been leaning towards PSG, Aston Villa got away with one there.
His career's kind of stalled away a bit. Yuri Tielemans, isn't it? A few years ago at Leicester, he was a great player. Then he moved to Villa, had a few injuries. He's not just been able to hit that heights again. But for the guy who was coming into that Villa team, there was a lot of hope for him, but he's just not done enough.
Yeah, I agree. It's just I think we expected to see a lot more of him, wasn't it? But do you know what? Sometimes when these players step up, Alex, they kind of find the level. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Tielemans, has still got a lot to prove and may yet to be a world-class player, but at the moment he's not. You know what I mean? He needs to just kind of prove that he can be the best player in the Aston Villa team rather than the best player in the Leicester team.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. I mean, Barcelona.
I will say, since PSG equalised, they look a lot more dangerous. They've still got all the control and all the ball. But they're starting to quicken up their pace. Yeah,
there's DK. Oh, to be honest, he almost two stabs at it there, DK. Yeah, so that was right down the keeper's throat.
Yeah,
Martinez had an easy save, and then he fluffed his second attempt with his left foot. I think it was, Martin. Let's see this back. Yeah. I fluffed his second attempt with the left foot, sent it high into the stand. So, listen, that just reflects what PSG have been like all evening so far in this first half. Outside of the amazing strike, the goal, it's been pretty inconsistent in finishing.
Yeah, they seem to have quickened it up a little though since.
Yeah, listen, I felt PSG were going to score. You know what I mean? And we've got to say the Villa goal was a mixture of bad defending and against the run of play.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I tell you what, you're away from home, you're taking it all day.
Oh, of course you are. Absolutely. What I will say is that the main issues for Aston Villa seem to be coming down their left, PSG's right, with Diamande. He's so quick.
Yeah, he is quick. I mean, listen, they've got it at both sides, and Kvara seems to just skip from one side to the other, and he's got a free rein, Martin. He seems to get to go where he wants to go, but he's more effective in the left, where he's sitting there now, incidentally unmarked. So let's have a look where this goes. Again, attacking from the right, just as you say, Martin. Some great bit of skill from Kelme there. And it's all cleared by Aston Villa, but it's a bit of a hit and hope, and PSG are back in possession, building it up again.
That is unlucky there. Great ball whipped in there from Adiemi again, but Guirassy can just not get on the end of it. But it looks like a goal might be coming for Dortmund. They're getting some dangerous attacks down this left-hand side. They just cannot get it in. Guirassy is just unlucky. I think he thinks that the
Here we go. There's PSG byline here.
Doesn't.
In the box. Dembele's on the ball, trying to find some space.
What a turn that is, by the way.
Dispossessed. Marcus Rashford doing well there. Oh, Aston Villa lost possession again. Great bit of skill there. DK. Oh. Yeah.
They're getting closer. Closer. Sorry, Alex, what were you saying?
But then again, Martin, there you go. There's Aston Villa straight up to the end of the pitch.
Guirassy just hits the side netting for Dortmund. Good bit of skill there. Close composure in the box, and he just hits the side netting with a shot there. But I think, as I said, that Dortmund are eking closer to getting a goal here. But that was unlucky.
Great bit of skill, Alex.
He leaves the back, he's just standing there. He doesn't know where he's going. Cuts inside, and he's unlucky just hit the side net with that strike. I think he should be going far post rather than near post, though, Martin, there. With that strike, he's tried to get it a bit too close to himself.
A lovely bit of skill. It's a lovely bit of skill, though, Alex, to buy and sell that couple of yards.
No, definitely. Just as we approach half-time here in this game.
He snatched it a bit as well, actually. He snatched that a bit, Guirassy.
He has, and that's half-time in this game. So it's Barcelona 1, Dortmund 0 at half-time. But I think that since Barcelona got that goal, they've not really done much to attack the goal of Borussia Dortmund, whereas Dortmund have started to settle a wee bit, and they've just started to come into this game. I think it's going to be in the second half.
What we're going to do is, as soon as it goes half-time in the PSG Aston Villa game, I will come to you each for your first half analysis. Sure. This is far too horses professional.
We are far too good to. I came on here for the relaxing. Alan J. Oh, what's happening, guys? You know?
Oh God! Right, folks, that is half-time in both games.
Not for me yet.
Yeah, well, that is half-time. I mean, I will grant you, so you can change over to the laptop. So while you do that, Ian.
As soon as you shut that stream, I'll take over the Discovery, right? As soon as
Alex, if you could please give us your recap of that first half.
I mean, it's just a bit decent for Barcelona. They attacked very well for the first opening 20 minutes. They were able to get through. The free kick was won quite cheaply, but they got the ball in. Martinez done well to get the ball back in the middle. Kabassi thinks he scored, and all of a sudden Rafinha taps it into the back post, and it's 1-0 Barcelona. Since that goal, though, I think it's been pretty even. Dortmund have had the better chances. Guirassy at the end there should have scored, but it's going to be an interesting second half. Few players, as I said at the start of the game, they're riding on bookings right now, so it's going to be interesting to see if any players actually do get another booking, if they get themselves sent off. The referee seems to be favouring the players that are booked to not send them off, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in this second half, but I do think that there's a few opportunities for some substitutions as well for Dortmund, just to liven it up. They have got pace up top, but in that midfield, they're losing the ball far too much.
There we go. I was going to try and do something off of fancy there.
I saw that. I was about to break into that and say, Alex, come on, we've only got a short amount of time to get a cup of tea. Shut up.
No, there's no break when we're public.
Is that right? Is it okay?
But PSG 1, Aston Villa 1. Summarise that first half for us.
Yeah, I think Aston Villa can count themselves lucky to be at 1 each, albeit PSG, as much as they've had as the amount of domination of possession that they've had, I think they've been pretty disappointing in front of goal outside of that amazing strike from Duke. But you got to applaud John McGinn's endeavours for dispossessing the PSG player, playing the ball wide, and then it getting rolled across to Rodgers to put away what was a very easy chance against a quite a poor PSG defensive line at that particular time. So, yeah, one each. Aston Villa are exactly where they would have wanted to be. Unai Emery will be very happy with this. If he could stop the game right now and take it back to Villa Park, he would. And I think everyone would. But it just feels to me, if PSG just kind of get on top of what they're doing in the final third, it could be out of sight for them.
Well,
wait a minute here. He slags me for going on, and he goes on all of that. What's that all about?
Yeah,
I'm trying to get you up there. I'm trying to get it.
Look, mate. Listen, I'll take a lot of things. I'm not taking that. That's it. I'm not coming back for the second half.
I know. Where's Simon Jordan when you need him? Hey, where's Simon Jordan when you need him? We're going to touch on Rangers in a wee second, Alex, but I want to come back to you. It was quite interesting for me. I agreed with everything you said, and Barcelona were in almost complete control, especially when they scored. But since they scored, Borussia Dortmund looking the better team.
I think they are. In all honesty, I think they're looking the better team. I think they went into it a bit nervous. They've lost that first goal, and they've had to react now. And I think you can see that the forward players are starting to get on the ball a bit more. I will say though, Chukwuemeka and Nemecha are struggling in the midfield. They're getting overrun quite a lot in this midfield. And I don't know how they're going to change this around, because the player that they put on in the midfield is Emre Can, but he's playing at centre back. So who do they actually get to fire in? So it'll be an interesting way to see how they change this in the second half, because they're definitely not coping with it.
No, and Ian, just before we go and we talk about our Rangers, PSG pretty much dominated most of that first half. The Aston Villa goal coming against the run of play, but you never write off an Unai Emery team in Europe, do you?
No, you don't. And listen, do you know what? They always, my gut feel was going out to Paris, they would have to kind of, weather the storm and have to ride a wee bit of luck and rely on maybe it's not PSG's night in front of goal. And it's outside of the fantastic strike, it's been very much that. And they've had one chance and they've taken it, Aston Villa. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant. And if I'm Unai Emery, I'm kind of saying, guys, look, more of the same in the second half. Yeah, because they're going to likely get frustrated, PSG, and you might catch them on the counter again. So you'll probably keep Marcus Rashford on. I think we might see an introduction of Ollie Watkins in the last 20 minutes or so, Alex. That's kind of what I would do. Failing a complete collapse, But I think Aston Villa will be feeling quite confident, albeit they've not had possession of this football at all in this game. But I think they'll be feeling quite good. I think they'll be feeling quite good with the result. And this is a big test for PSG, because how many times over the years have we seen PSG in this very position and then they fail? Yeah. Yep. But to me, it feels that PSG are a bit more resolute than teams that we've seen in the past. And I just get the feeling if they can just find a touch in front of goal, they could put this tie to bed tonight. But they've not done it yet.
No, and can I just say, I knew that if we were going to get slagged for mispronouncing names, it was only going to be multiple man, wasn't it? The three of you mispronouncing all the names is fantastic.
Do you know, I would miss, but some of them I actually don't know how to say it. I don't know what their actual name is. So see the goal scorer, is that Duke or Duke?
Dewey.
I didn't know that. Dewey. There we go. Dewey.
No, Duke
I think told him everything apart from that.
I think Duke plays for Aberdeen, does he not?
He does.
He does. He's a Duke for Aberdeen.
I'm getting asked to explain the TalkSport thing we have for our audio downloads became part of the TalkSport fan network. What it means is a couple of things that we should, in theory, be invited on to TalkSport to discuss all things Rangers. And also they help us out with our advertisement on our audio downloads as well. So yes, we are now part of the TalkSport fan network, previously part of the Sports Social podcast network. So a big thank you to Sports Social for hosting us for just over a year, I think it was. And let's hope bigger and better things moving across to the TalkSport network. And it's got nothing to do with why we're acting all professional.
I know. I'm wanting to break that rhythm. I don't want us to act all professional tonight, but I've just jumped into something professional. I've had to go with it. You know? You know?
Right, okay. Let's talk Rangers, shall we? This is a Rangers podcast after all. And Ian, I have to ask. It sounds a bit hypocritical from me because after the Hibs game, I'm giving it. I don't care. He needs to change everything. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. How big a miss tomorrow night is John Souttar and Diomande?
Yeah, big misses. I mean, as much as Diomande's not been particularly great and he was exceptionally bad against Hibs, having that bit of steel with John Souttar at the back is a big miss. And it's not so much they both kind of had in different seasons, Martin, but we don't have the strength and depth in our squad to put in an adequate backup. So if you think about, I've been seeing people quoting, well, that means Tom Lawrence gets to step in. Now, I've not seen Tom Lawrence complete 90 minutes in about 12 months. Yeah. So, I think that's a fair reflection. So if we expect him to then all of a sudden to step into a quarter final and produce the goods and be fit enough to complete 90 minutes, I think we're kidding ourselves on against what is a really good Athletic Club Bilbao team. So, these guys are fourth in the La Liga and they are pretty good, I've got to say. Albeit Alex and I were having a discussion earlier that they've had a couple of draws recently, but I'm right to say, Alex, I think again, and I know you look across European football a lot more than a lot of the rest of us do. They don't concede goals, this team, do they? They're not big for conceding. So I think Souttar and Diomande will be a miss. I absolutely do. But I'm more interested, Martin, in to see. We've had all this talk of Jack Butland and the mistakes that he's made over the last few months. And then in particular, the last month, they've become a lot more regular. Now, if we're to believe what Barry was saying after the Hibs game, it sounded to me like he was, considering starting Kelly. But after today's interview, it makes me think, I think we maybe see Iggerman replace Dessers, but I still think likes of Jack Butland will start in that game. Might be wrong, but that's kind of my gut feel. So yes, these two players will be missed. There's no doubt about it, because whoever then comes in to make the replacement won't have been playing regularly. So, and then to ask them to step up to this level, and this is a big step up, is a big ask. But it's Thursday nights, and Rangers are really good at Thursday nights. So we never know. That's why we've in the back of our mind. I think it was Stuart Wright that I think you were talking to on Monday. They said he wouldn't be surprised if he saw Rangers get a result on Thursday. I would have said that normally, but after losing the way we did to Fenerbahce at Ibrox, and then the Hibs game and everything that's gone in between, I just feel that this might be a bridge too far for us tomorrow night.
Well, Alex, he did do the press conference. Was it today? I get muddled up with my days. And he was asked about the performances and about making changes, and he kind of stuck to his guns, Alex. And he says, "Yep, you'll see tomorrow night, basically, how it's going to look." He said he had an extended meeting with the players. They get their points across. The players get their points across. He wants to see a completely different team going for the rest of the season. So, are we expecting major changes tomorrow?
I'm kind of in the same camp as Ian. I don't think there'll be major changes. I think you might see Iggerman start up top. I think we might actually see Danilo start in this game tomorrow, in the role that we're seeing Lawrence start. But I think Jack Butland will still start. I think Robin Propper will probably come back in, and it'll be Propper and Sterling as your centre backs. He might go to this back three again that he likes in Europe, because it's actually been working. But I can't see there being too many major changes, bar the two that he has to make with Diomande and Souttar. The issue is that you don't really want to change too much. Martin, I know we've not been playing the best, but you don't want to put too many unknowns into a game like Bilbao, and then we get a bit of egg in the face because it doesn't work. So it's going to be an interesting one to see what we do change. I do think we will go to a back three and play the two wing backs. So we might see Yilmaz come back in and maybe either Tav out wide, Sterling out wide. But I don't know, is Balogun injured? Because he obviously didn't feature at the weekend. So is it going to be Sterling, Propper and Tav in there? Sterling at wide. There's so many options he's got, but right now there's not one player that's actually inspiring and confidence to go out there and do a job.
No, there really isn't. And Ian, I've sent you back a private message, so try again.
Have you got a hold of him with a head rub? Have you?
Yeah, I made sure that he heard me. I made sure that he heard me. I don't know, Ian, did you see Barry's presser today?
Yeah, I did. I watched all 17 minutes of the whatever 17 minutes version there was. I think it was on the Rangers RTV, and he was calmer. He was calmer than he was certainly after the Hibs game. And alongside that, Martin, I also watched the preparation in the training ground for the game against Bilbao tomorrow. And I've got to say, and I don't know if it's just I felt there was a wee bit too much carry-on hilarity going on for my liking. I saw that and I thought, this doesn't look like a team that's focused or in any way understanding that 5 defeats in a row at Ibrox is acceptable. I mean, Jack Butland, albeit, looked particularly dour when the cameras went on to him, but when you saw Yefty and Danilo, who, by the way, have both massively underperformed for us this year, having a laugh and a joke and a carry on. Listen, I understand you need to keep the mood buoyant in the training ground. I get all that stuff, and you only catch a little glimpse of what the camera shows you. You don't see everything else that's going on at the time. But to me, I just felt that it felt like a team, and I sort of what I watched the training video. It felt like a team that was just playing out the remainder of the games for the season a little bit. Now that might be a pessimistic side of me after watching such dross in the last few weeks, but if I'm readying my Rangers team for a huge game at Ibrox following day in Europe, then I want to see a wee bit more grit and determination and a wee bit more seriousness about it. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with it.
Saying Danilo's underperforming, is that fair in regards to his actual performances, or is that just more so that he's not been available?
That's quite a pragmatic view I take, Martin. If the guy can't do 90 minutes, then he's underperforming.
100%.
I mean, that's the bottom line. So, I mean, if you actually look at Danilo's career, even his previous team, I think it was 12 starts. He had 27 appearances, but 12 of them were starts. He was very much used as an impact player. So I'm starting to doubt how robust this guy is to complete a season anyway. And I think, unfortunately, we've got a lot of guys like that. And this is why it's easy to lay into Dessers for all his misses. And I think Barry highlighted really well today. He said, I'd be more worried about Dessers if he wasn't in those positions. Yeah, absolutely. So to me, what's that? Say again?
I get that, but I don't know if I 100% agree with Barry on that.
Yeah. Listen. It's a horrible place to be. You want to play your £6 million Brazilian striker, but what's he done? Nothing. He's done nothing.
We should say, actually, sorry, we're underway. Alex, in the second half, yes, Borussia Dortmund made a substitution.
They did. They took off Karim Adeyemi and put on Maximilian Bayer on the right. So we're interesting to see. I think they've only done that substitution because he was on a booking. He was booked in the first half, but he was giving Koundé no amount of problems on that left hand side. He was running up and down. So it's an interesting sub to make, but he was getting caught up a little bit as the half run to an end. So I think that's the only reason he's been took off. But Bayer is more of a winger. He does like to play up front, so it'll be interesting to see how that works going forward.
Do you think that's in mind with how they kind of finished the first half, Alex, and maybe they think there's something in this?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's obviously something in it. They're obviously getting down the flanks a lot more, but they don't want to play Adeyemi. He is a bit hot-headed, and when Koundé is winding him up, I think he's going to get caught up in it. That was not far away from Bayern Gittins there. It just shaved the post, so it could have been one each right at the start of the second half.
I'm just having a wee look now. I'm slightly behind you, Alex, from the studio. It's actually, Alex, fairly decent defending for Barcelona.
It is decent defending. They've kind of forced him to go wide. They forced him to take that shot rather than allowing it to cut inside. But it shows the intent from Dortmund straight away in the second half. They're getting very high in the face of Barca, and they're doing everything they can to get forward. But all it's going to take is one attack from the danger men of Barcelona. I mean, here comes Lamine Yamal again, and it's just good defending again from Dortmund. It's a bit of a defensive masterclass from both teams right now. They're showing how they can do it, but there's just nobody in the forward areas to actually carry the ball. Bit of a blunder here, though, from Dortmund, and they've gifted it to Barca. Barca are coming forward. Yamal. Oh, and it's 2-0. It is 2-0.
That was the most understated 2-0 I've ever heard in my life.
It looked like the ball was going over the bar, but Robert Lewandowski just leaps up and he gets the ball in the back of the net. And it is Barcelona 2, Borussia Dortmund 0. The ball comes floating over. Rafinha hits the header. He looks like he's put it over the bar, but Robert Lewandowski is just there to tap it in.
It's a tap in for Lewandowski, Alex, isn't it? It's an absolute.
Kobo's left in no man's land, though. He's just absolutely nowhere near it. He thinks it's gone over the bar like I did, and Lewandowski just taps it in. He doesn't even have to move, really. He just gets a nice, easy header, and it's 2-0.
Well, listen, I'm back on my iPad again, Martin, because it's still not kicking up on the laptop. So I'm sitting in 47 minutes at the minute, and the second half here has continued the way the first half finished, with total dominance from PSG. Yeah. Aston Villa, last gasp defending along the line of the 18-yard line of the box, and all sorts of pressures coming on them. Kvara has been instrumental in everything that PSG are doing, but they're just not getting that bounce in front of goal. Yeah, they're just not getting...
What I will say, Iain, is just before obviously you couldn't get back on, it was exactly the way that you're describing it.
Yeah.
But Aston Villa had an opportunity. I think it was John McGinn again who won it back in the middle of the park, or it was Tielemans. The ball ended up with Tielemans, and it was a relatively simple pass. It was like a 3-on-2 or a 3-on-3 Aston Villa would have had, and Tielemans again, Iain, just giving the ball away.
Yeah. I mean, I missed that then. That'd be interesting to see. But my thing hadn't started. But look, they do. Aston Villa breaking forward again, Martin. They look like they're a wee bit more confident than they were in the first 30 minutes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But what that is doing is now making more space for Kvara, who's just turned on his left foot, turned onto his right foot, and my God, what a finish! So on the left-hand side, here's your Georgian king, absolutely fantastic. Turns on his left, turns on his right, and puts it right past Martinez. At first glance, Martin, I actually thought it would hit the side netting. But what a goal. I mean, you can see why the fuss has been made about this player. And incidentally, if anyone deserves a goal, it's him, because he's been the best player on the pitch tonight again. Well,
one of his teammates never ripped the hair out his seat there, and I think he felt it a wee bit.
What a finish. Here's the replay again. We're seeing it better. Great build-up from the back. Mm-hmm. We're seeing... I think that was Hakimi that fired it across to him. Then Kvara's all over it, turning the Aston Villa fullback inside out, turns him to the right, turns him to the left. Finishes it.
The question that will be asked, Iain, is that should the goalkeeper be getting beat at the near post? But the power in that strike.
Yeah, the sheer pace. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what multiple man says. You know what I mean? But the truth is. Would you call it? That was pretty unstoppable. It went past Martinez at such force. And incidentally, 2-1 to PSG. Anyone who's watching this game can't say that's not a fair result and how things are.
It's absolutely fair. Yeah, absolutely fair.
What's his name? Who scored the goal? Who scored?
Kvara, mate.
Kvara.
No, that's not how you say it. I actually heard them say it before the game. I went onto YouTube and heard him pronounce it, and it was absolutely unpronounceable.
Scalia.
Nah, it's not that, mate.
It is.
Mate, nothing with an Ardrossan accent sounds like that. All right.
What do you mean Ardrossan accent? What do you mean?
Alex, how have Borussia Dortmund responded to going 2-0 down?
They haven't. They really haven't responded at all. In all honesty, Barcelona are just looking like they're turning on the gas a wee bit. Bit of time wasting, I will say as well. But Dortmund just they're giving fouls away for fun, and there's a bit of diving going on. I think from some of the forward line here of Barcelona, they're wasting all the time they've got, but they're also just halting any momentum that Dortmund are trying to get going.
Yeah, listen, it's all one-way traffic here, Mark. I don't know if you're seeing this, but Aston Villa are backs to the wall defending here. They're literally all over the place. Oh, Jesus. It's some last gasp defending. It looks very much that PSG are going to score again here. Yeah. Great ball in. Oh, again, last gasp defending. It was John Suter type stuff going on here for Aston Villa. And here they come again. PSG just start again. And this is the difference that I'm seeing this PSG team. They don't look like they're going to lose possession. They just don't look like they're going to lose possession.
It's not just that as well, Ian. It doesn't look like much, but the front line are always moving. Always moving.
They are. But you know what, Martin and Alex, I don't know if you think about this as well. See if there was a traditional number 9 in the middle there. PSG would have this game out of sight. It would be gone. But traditional number 9s are getting phased out. You don't see them anymore.
Yeah, definitely not. Especially that they've got that 3 forward men, and none of them are really a striker. You know, they've got Doué, Kvara, and Dembele. All are kind of wingers. Yeah, and none of them really are that striker. And I think
who can all score goals, but they're not out and out penalty box strikers.
Yeah, listen, I get that. I totally understand that, right? But see, when you do get an out and out striker, the media have a go at them for not being great footballers. I mean, was it Roy Keane was slagging Haaland because he's not a great footballer? Yeah, he's probably one of the greatest goal scorers that football's ever seen. See, when you get that number 9, who's a fantastic goal scorer, everybody just slags him for not being very good at playing football.
Well, absolutely. If you look at, so for example, could Chris Boyd, who was purely a centre forward that could only play with the goals in front of him, could he survive in a modern day team today? Probably not.
No, because he was a dreadful footballer.
Yeah. So, but what we are missing, Martin, and this is where the balance has to come with all the tippy-tappy football. But at the end of the day, you need someone that can put the ball in the net. Yeah. And I think we've kind of trained that out of people a little bit.
Yeah, I think we have.
We've trained that out of people.
Barring the odd game, like when Erling Haaland's through on goal, he scores. He just scores. He doesn't get involved in the game. He doesn't have. I mean, there was at one point I was watching an analysis one day. I don't know if it was like a Monday Night Football or something on Sky Sports, and they were complaining because Erling Haaland had barely touched the ball, but he scored.
I know.
I mean, it's always going to be an issue that into like they want him to be good at doing everything. They need to defend, they need to dribble, they need to have the pace. But Haaland's job in that Man City team is just
it's almost like the collective will score a goal. The collective. Yeah, that's what it's like. The way the team's put together, whoever the chance falls to will score the goal. Any of your front 5, if you like, are your forwards. And I mean, and listen, it worked for Pep for many years. You know what I mean? But he still had an Aguero and then moved on to Haaland, who are out and out goal scorers. You know?
I mean, that's the only thing they're employed to do is score the goals. Doesn't matter what else they do. But nowadays, if they can't do every job on that pitch, they seem to just be not a complete footballer. And it's a bit of a joke when it comes to that fact, because Haaland got 52 goals in 50 games for Man City, and they said, but he's not that good at being a footballer. What else is he supposed to do?
Yeah, listen, I mean, that little gap between Aguero and Haaland, Pep was getting dog's abuse for not signing a forward. Remember that? And Arsenal now find themselves in that very position. It's interesting watching Mikel Arteta go through the same procedure that Pep went through when he went to Man City. You know, obviously, Pep hit the ground running and had a bit more success, but they were in a better place. Man City, they'd gone from good manager to good manager and they'd slowly progressed. You know, but Arsenal are very much guilty of not trying to get a forward in the last 3 years. I would say. You know, I mean, who was the last Arsenal player that was getting 25 plus goals a season?
Van Persie.
Van Persie, wow. Yeah.
Maybe. Wow. I don't think there's been many after that.
Aubameyang, maybe? No.
Maybe Aubameyang, maybe Lacazette, but there's been very little service in front of goal, and I think that's been one of the biggest issues that they've had.
And if they didn't do it 2 seasons in a row, that's for sure.
No, big chance there, Ian, for PSG.
Yeah, I'm seeing the corner now. Actually, Martin, so if you want to talk us through it, what happened?
That was what led to the corner.
Oh, was it led to the corner? Yes, I'm saying, so I've missed that. I'm at the corner now.
All right, okay. No, it was decent play. Ball cut back in the Georgian boy. I'm not even going to attempt to say his name. Yes. Yep. And it get deflected out for a corner, but it was a decent chance. But nothing came of the corner.
Nothing came of the corner at all. It was pretty mundane, to be honest. And that's another thing that's kind of suffered these days in the modern game is you don't see corners resulting in goals like you used to. Certainly don't at Ibrox. Christ. You know? But yeah, it's still
there's
PSG.
Question for multiple man: is R9 before his injury the most complete number 9 you've ever seen? I think he's the most complete number 9 at football. Yeah, has ever seen. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
There's not many that can challenge that title, to be fair.
Nah, greatest striker ever, in
Yes.
my opinion.
yeah.
Do you know probably one of the best all-round players? He was a goal scorer and he kept getting moved about. Would have been Wayne Rooney. He was able to do multiple jobs. You know, if he was needed up top, he'd go up top. Then he could go out in the wing, he could go in midfield. But there's not been many players that have done that since.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the way Ferguson had his team playing.
I think Wayne Rooney was actually, and this might sound stupid, I think he was underappreciated, Wayne Rooney, for how good he was, by the way.
I'd agree with that. I think so.
I mean, he was listening to all the plaudits. He was, English international at 16. He was, you know what I mean? He's absolutely brilliant. He was when he was the main scorer at Manchester United in England. He got all the plaudits in the world. I always remember that time when Ronaldo came up against him in the Euros. They purposely singled him out to try and wind him up to get him sent off. That's all the credit you need, because they know that he could damage them.
I just think as an actual footballer as well, though, not just a striker, because as a striker he was a phenomenal striker. As PSG break forward.
Kvara, what a move. Did you see that move back in left back position? Absolutely fantastic from Kvara. Oh, great save from Martinez. Safely back to him.
I thought PSG had ruined it there with the dummy.
Both spoke at the same time there, what are you saying?
Sorry, I was just saying, I thought PSG had ruined it there with the dummy.
Yeah, I know. Who took the shot? Was that Hakimi that took the shot that made the save from...
I'm not sure, but...
Oh, here we go. I'm back in the hands of Martinez. What, give us a time check, Martin, what you're on? I'm on 58.04.
08.
All right, so just a wee bit ahead there. It sounded like you were closer. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, 4 seconds or something.
Yeah.
I see they've took off Matty Cash for Disasi. Is that just to not risk that yellow card?
100%. He's treading on thin ice, Alex, for sure. He's to be fair, the booking he got was soft, but then the second one he could have got booked for was,
Asensio coming on as well, Ian, for Ramsey. Ramsey's been pretty quiet in the second half. I know he got the goal, but Asensio coming on to face his old team.
Yeah, he is coming on, and Ramsey didn't look at all happy there. If you saw him, you know what I mean. He didn't look at all happy coming off. But it makes sense. You want to change it up a bit because PSG are dictating everything just now. So it makes sense to make a change. Whether that'll be the right one or not, only time will tell. But you kind of go with Unai Emery's experience and stuff in games like this. So he's got a proven track record in Europe, and he's done pretty well with Aston Villa so far. And let's be honest.
Sorry, it was
Rodgers scored. I'll let that one go, but I knew someone would pick you up. That's it, But anyway, PSG in the box again with your man Kvara again. Again, last gasp defender from Aston Villa. I tell you, if PSG had an out-and-out striker, this game would be out of sight. Because Kvara could supply the ball to anyone, right to their feet and inside of the box. It's just been fantastic. Man of the match for me, Martin, so far, Kvara?
Yeah. By a mile, yeah. Alex, you're awfully quiet there with the Barca-Borussia game. Nothing happening?
Nothing really, no. I mean, Dortmund are trying to get anything going forward, but they're just getting caught out now. I think they're now just trying to keep it as low as they can, in all honesty. They're trying to break forward, but then as soon as Barca get the ball, they're all dropping back and there's nobody left forward. So they're obviously trying to stop this being a cricket score, but there's not many opportunities for Borussia Dortmund to even get a goal, never mind get back in the game.
Yeah. Both games are in kind of not so much a lull, because PSG are coming forward, but wait a minute.
Oh, cutting inside, they take the corner. Oh, it's not a corner, is it? Oh, looking for a handball. I think I'll tell you right now.
I'll tell you what.
Nah, I mean it's a trailing hand. If you're VAR having a look at that, then surely not.
If that's given and it goes to VAR, does it get overturned?
Well, I mean, if I was VAR watching that and the ref had given it, I would overturn it. Yeah, I mean, they literally the momentum, and I think, hold on, what's he going for? Aye, corner kick, which is what it
Yeah.
should be. That's fine. Yeah.
So we
That
should
makes
say
sense.
Diamande turned the boy was already on the floor with his hand on the deck, and as he's turned, the ball's hit off his hand.
Yeah, I
Are
think
you watching the game
it's
tomorrow, Mark?
explained.
Twice you mentioned Diamande. Are you
Yeah,
watching the game tomorrow?
Who
It's
am I
better
getting?
to-
Who am I getting mixed up with?
I don't know. You keep saying Diamande.
It's PSG, does he not?
You Dembele.
Dembele. That's sorry, yeah, Dembele.
Yeah, Dembele. Look at Kvara. In the left back position makes that chance out of nothing. Incredible. It was that shot was from Hakimi, Martin, that gets
Was
saved
that
from
Hakimi?
Martinez. Yeah, and it was a good save, but again, the shot could have been better. When you see it from a different angle, it was actually closer to the keeper than it should have been. Yeah.
Fermin Lopez had all the time there to make that 3-0, and I think he's actually hit the post in all honesty as it's gone past. Yeah, he has. He's just clipped the post, but that is an unlucky chance there to make it 3-0 to Barcelona, and we would have probably killed the tie off in all honesty.
So there we go. Ball possession, PSG 67% against 33%. Total attempts from PSG 23, Aston Villa 3. Yeah, incredible.
Does Emre Can, Alex, just do enough to put him off?
100% does there, because that should be a goal. Lewandowski should be scoring that. But I think, when you look at it here, Barca have had a wee 5-10 minutes where they've had a little bit of a break, and then all of a sudden, Barca have just put the foot back on the gas.
Look at these guys having a laugh at our expense. Look at this. Over to Jim Delahunt in the Hamilton studio. Unbelievable. You know what I mean? I tell you what, we asked them to come on the pod and they're straight away.
Fermin Lopez should have had a goal again. He had 2 stabs of the ball there and he's missed both of them. He's not having the best time in front of goal because the ball comes over from Yamal and he has a shot. He actually settles himself, has the shot. It's a good defending for the defender, and then all of a sudden he just blazes it over the bar. And I think that should be 3-0 again. That's 3 chances he's had now.
Right.
Can I just say, Gallon, Martin actually likes Tom from RTV, so you're not getting him with that one.
In Fernand's defence, the first one he's got 3 Borussia Dortmund players in front of him, and the second one it's on his left foot. I was going to say it's wide, but he's got plenty of room there, Alex, isn't he?
He actually just has to have a bit of composure there, and he just smashes at it. If he actually takes his time, he might get a decent opportunity, but I think there's just so many defenders now. You can see it from a Dortmund point of view. They'll just try to get everybody behind the ball so that they can at least go back to Germany and at least have a chance of getting back in this tie, because right now they don't look like they're even going to lay a glove on Barcelona.
Yeah. You would say 2-0 there's like a 10% chance if Barca score again, Alex, it's over.
100%. I think they score again, the tie's done. Even once we go over to Germany, I think the tie will be done.
I mean, if you're Unai Emery, guys, are you taking a 2-1 home? I think you
yes, you are.
Yes, you are. You probably would. It gives you a chance, but at the moment, Aston Villa, never mind, can't get out their own half, can't get out their own box. At the moment, they're absolutely pinned back. Although, if you're Aston Villa, you're looking at the way that PSG played.
And it's 3-0. It's Barca 3, Dortmund 0. Lewandowski again. What a goal that was. They caught them on the break. Lopez had a good run. He passed it to Yamal. He just stopped play, passed it through to Fermin Lopez, put a ball across the box, straight to Lewandowski, and he just slots it through. And it's Barcelona 3, Borussia Dortmund 0.
Goalkeeper there, Alex? No?
Very poor goalkeeping. But you've got to say that the fact that they broke at such pace, I don't think many goalkeepers would actually lay a glove on that. In all honesty with you, Martin, it was a great finish from Lewandowski.
Is that tie now dead for you, Alan?
It's dead. It's dead in the water. I think we just said that, 2-0, they had a chance of getting back in it, but I think at 3, it's just game over.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's clever play for Lewandowski, the movement to get himself free. Like you say, it's a quick break. He hits the shot with some good power. But I'm going to have a look here again. To me, it looks like
it gets a glove on it. Gets a glove on it, and he actually should be pushing it around the post. He just pushes it behind him.
It's a fantastic pass. Yeah, the goalkeeper's got to be saving that for me. Mm-hmm. It's a great pass through to Ferran Torres. It's a nice wee pass into Lewandowski. To be fair, it's hit with some power. to be fair, and it's close enough to the goalkeeper. But
the two players, by the way, the two players at halftime I said had to come off. Chukwuemeka and Nemecha have been taken off, and we have two subs. It was
Taken
Ozcan.
off, Alex. Taken off.
What did I say?
Taken.
Wow, shut up, you. There you go.
Taken off. Taken.
Listen, the amount of times that you used to make mistakes, I've let you go. Get yourself a piece, right?
I've had some belters, mate. I've had some belters.
I mean, Martin just said Ferran Torres down the side there. Don't even
No, you mean tonight? No, I've not had any belters tonight. I've just had some basic ones tonight. But I know what you mean. Yeah, absolutely.
Alex, would you please stop your hyperbole, please?
Hyperbole. That's I don't know. Hyperbole. Oh, we got them a good one that time, Martin, didn't we? You know?
It's a great pass. It's a great pass from Ferran Diamandi.
No, it's Ferran Diamandi.
I don't know why I said Ferran Torres.
We just play for.
Tell you what, Aston Villa up the pitch here for the first time in a while, and they've just skanked it out of play. There we go.
Oh, look at Connor's trying to get involved. He's been left out now. He's trying to get involved in the corner.
I know. Do you know why? We've raised it a level, guys. We've raised it. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. He'd be champing it a bit. This will get brought up at the meeting. I'm telling you. Yeah. But there we go. Where did you see Connor, Alex? Was this a text? Was it or what?
In the comments.
He's in the comments, is he?
He's in the comments, aye.
I know they're taking the piss out of you, Alex. There we go.
By the way, and I'd like to see your mate Tim Sharp is very good at the slagging. I'd like to see him come on and do this.
Aye, exactly. What's the saying? Rabble Discord pod would be a winner. Aye, very good. Listen, we've invited some of you guys on the member show before, and you all run a mile, so don't give us it.
Nobody contributes on that phone, and they all just sit in the comments, and then they get involved.
We've had Donald on. Before.
Rashford there, Ian, just gone down far too easily. He's been quite poor tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. But has it been a game for him? PSG have just dominated possession so much, and here we go again. Kvara's playing about in the box, looking for a pass out. Here we go. PSG start.
Look at the amount of PSG players, Ian.
Mate, they just trust the process, don't they? They're just absolutely regurgitating the ball, recycling it. But I tell you what, it should be out of sight. If PSG go far in this competition or go further in this competition, it's because you don't have a goal scorer. That's an obvious weakness you can see. And certainly, if they had a decent, there you go. There's a final ball into the box there again, Martin. Poor from PSG, and they've all the possession in the world. But you quite fancy Aston Villa when they break away. They look more dangerous. Yeah.
Can I just say, 100%? I missed a super chat. My apologies, Jim Sloan, channel legend. I can't believe I missed it. Martin, my friend, you look a bit downhearted. If you need to talk, I'm always available in the Discord. That's just my face, Jim. But I do appreciate the message, and I know that you're always there if I want a wee chat, my friend. So thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you for the support. We need every single bit of support we can get right now. So on that, not that many watching on YouTube. I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but those who are watching on YouTube, please give us a wee thumbs up. And if you would like to help support the podcast even further, you can become a member now for as little as £1.99 per month and get access to at least for that 8 shows per week. So
also, there's a bit of handbags going on here in the Dortmund game.
Just looking at that there, Alex. Yeah,
a wee bit. Yeah, the corners are about to be taken, and a Dortmund player's on the ground, then he gets up, and a Barca player goes down. It looks like
great ball from Kvara. Squares it across 3. There we go. Oh, is it offside? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think they called it offside. An unbelievable pass again from Kvara. Absolutely fantastic. Picked him out, but let's watch the run now.
I don't know if he's offside there, Ian.
Oh, that's tight, Martin. You're right. That's tight. I think I can have a look at it, draw the lines now, but it's certainly not been given yet.
Should Martinez be doing better there, Ian?
Yeah, definitely. You don't get beaten like that at your front post. You know what I mean? Because the obvious ball was, you think you're going to whip it across for someone else to put it away, but you get beaten too easily there. I think the ball went through him, but it's not the replay's not been great. We've not seen the actual goal.
Half.
they just moved on with the substitutions here. But listen, that goal would have been deserved had it counted. But to be honest, listen, if Aston Villa get out of here 2-1 tonight, they've done well.
Well, they're bringing off the goal scorer Dewey, and they're just bringing on this wee tiny player called Barcola. So
Bradley Barcola is some player, by the way.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. It's not a bad substitution.
I'm glad Dewey's off because none of us have said his name right all night. You know?
Well, I think the offside stands anyway, Ian. So
yeah, it looks like it is. So I didn't even see them draw the lines, Martin. I assume they just went with the linesman, the referee.
It must have been a lot. It must have been a lot more offside because we only got to see it once.
It didn't. It wasn't obvious. Put it that way. That's a free kick.
Again, that's good for John McGinn.
Yeah, brilliant ball on side. A bit of a pass back of a finish.
It's very poor.
It wasn't great.
Is that see this foul? I don't know if you've seen it here, Martin, from Garassi on Szczesny there. Is he just losing the heat a wee bit, just losing a bit of composure? He's just trying to pull him down as he's trying to get the quick counter attack, but they just look like they've just lost.
Oh, here we go. PSG in the box again. Oh, stop by Martinez. But I think just going back to that Aston Villa chance, Martin, Rodgers should be doing better there, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great for John McGinn to win the ball back. Plays it through to Rodgers. Rodgers, 12 yards out, straight at the goalkeeper. Doesn't really cause him any problems. Should do much better. In terms of Garassi, Alex, it's just stupid. Why is he grabbing onto the goalkeeper when the goalkeeper?
He's not going to go anywhere.
I think that's just pure stupidity.
Well, see another sub here for Barcelona. Fermin Lopez has been took off, and Gavi has come on. So try to go a bit more defensive, I think, here, Martin. Just try to see out this 3-0 lead. Again, though, Barca just try to pull themselves about, buy more time from the referee, but he's just not having it tonight. Anytime.
Good play from Aston Villa. Oh, just couldn't find that final finish. Some smart play at the edge of the box. Little chip up there from Rodgers, and the Aston Villa substitute just couldn't get his foot on it at all.
It was a difficult one. The defender done well there, Ian.
It was a bit of a kind of, you're looking for Roy the Rover stuff there, wasn't it? He was never going to kind of be sure to make connection at that point. But here we go. PSG in bags of room right outside Aston Villa's box has been pretty much the feature of this game, Martin, hasn't it? It was PSG sitting exactly where they are, being unchallenged. But Aston Villa's block is so low, they're quite happy to kind of suck up the pressure. And I think they're quite happy to do that, Martin, because as we discussed before, there's no out-and-out goal scorer on this PSG team.
I think Aston Villa can count themselves extremely lucky if they get out of here 2-1.
Oh, absolutely.
Extremely lucky.
Is there another roll of the dice in there, though, from Emery? Or is he just trying to keep the scoreline at 2-1?
I tell you what.
Does Watkins score that chance?
I mean, he probably has a better effort at it, to be honest. I think he has a better effort at it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a given. It was a half chance, let's say. It wasn't a full-blown chance, but it certainly should have made the keeper work a lot harder than he did, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, PSG are at strolling stage here now, and Aston Villa are quite happy to sit in front of their own box and watch the ball go from left to right, because PSG are genuinely struggling to get that clear chance in the box. Now, how much of that is down to Aston Villa's defending, and how much of that is down to the lack of... unlucky. There's Kvara having a shot from outside, almost ricocheted onto the oncoming.
I mean, that's going in.
Yeah,
that means that's heading straight for the top bag if it's not deflected. If it's not deflected. Alex, still nothing much happening?
A lot more from, as I say that, here come Barcelona with a 3-on-1. Ball outside to Iain Yamal. And it's 4-0. It's 4-0. Great counter-attack that is, by the way. 3-on-1. And the ball is played from Rafinha. He just bends it right out wide. Yamal takes one touch. Defender looks like he's got too tight to him. And he just slots it into the corner. And it is a great team goal there from Barcelona.
How early, Alex, does Rafinha play that pass?
I play as soon as he sees him in acres of space and just bends it through. And I think if you look at Yamal, he's done very, very well to stay on side there. But it's just a great goal, great finish. A lot of times you would think he was going to try and cut inside there, Martin. He doesn't. He just stays composed. keeps running it wide and just slots it into the corner, and Coble has absolutely no chance.
How are Borussia Dortmund caught so short when they're 3-0 down?
Yeah,
I think they're trying to gamble at this point. I think they're trying to gamble to get forward, but when you look at that ball, he's miles onside. Rafinha plays it so well, but Coble doesn't even move. And I think he's tried to come out, then he's went back onto his line, and by the time he's actually tried to make his mind up, the ball's already behind him in the back of the net. It's actually a very tidy finish, you've got to say, from Well, he just lifts it over the defender. He just lifts it over the defender, sliding in, and Ben Sebaini can do nothing.
It's almost like an old-fashioned toe poke.
It is, but he has the composure just to lift it.
Nah, never. Some half-hearted claims here from Kvara for a penalty there, Matt. I don't know if you saw it, but
no, I never seen it.
Yeah, it was. Listen, they just sheer domination, sheer possession in front of Aston Villa's 18-yard box. Tried to put the final ball through to Kvara. It wasn't good enough. The defender leaned into Kvara as well within his right to do so, and Kvara went down looking for a bit kind of a half-hearted claim for a penalty. It certainly wasn't, but here we are back again, edge of the box. PSG are just kind of toying with Aston Villa in terms of possession, but Aston Villa are certainly keeping them at bay from the 18-yard line, and making PSG commit as they just have down the wing. Whips it across again, cleared by Aston Villa. Just missing someone in that box. It's an out-and-out striker. PSG will be the best team in this tournament if they did that.
It's such a weird game plan here from Dortmund. They're now playing like they are 4-0 up. They're playing like they're leading in this tie, and yet they're the team that's pretty much out before the second leg even kicks off. I don't know what they're going to have to do to change this tie around, because they're just so poor. They're actually panicking now when the ball's coming to them. They're trying to pass it around the back. They're trying to just do anything they can. But here comes the main man you mentioned a minute ago, Martin Ferran Torres. He's actually going to get a cameo appearance on. But I think it's game over. I think
Thank God for that.
I think even if Dortmund were to get a goal, it's still done.
Some good defending there from number 7 of who shall not be named again for Aston Villa. If we've got to say, he's probably been the best player tonight. So he's been pretty decent. But again, Aston Villa are limiting PSG to shots outside the box, and I think they'll be over the moon to take this back to Birmingham at 2-1.
If you're PSG, Ian, are you really trying to push for that third goal?
I think you are, because you should be at least 3-1 up. At least. Yeah, with the level of possession, but they just can't find that cutting edge. Just can't find it.
Are you surprised that they're making a triple sub there? McGinn, Rashford and Tielemans all coming off. Are you surprised McGinn coming off?
No, he was burst. As much as he's been their best player, he was absolutely burst and he was ready to get changed out. It makes sense. So they're putting on some fresh legs to see out the 10 minutes, Martin, with a view to try and take this back to Aston Villa at 2-1. Yeah. Makes
Onana,
sense.
Watkins and Maatsen coming on.
Yeah, that's it.
Although we'll get a triple substitution in this game as well. So a bit weird that both teams have made a triple substitution at the same time. But I think
it's a conspiracy, Alex. It's a conspiracy.
It is, they've gone a bit more defensive. I think they brought in Eric Garcia, Araujo, and Ferran Torres. So I think they're just trying to bring it up a wee bit more defensive here, because they're obviously bringing on more defenders. I think they're just trying to save themselves for the weekend at this point, because there's not much going to happen in the rest of this game unless Barcelona.
Lewandowski coming off with 2 goals, Alex.
I'd be a bit raging when you're on your hat trick and you've been took off. But I mean, you're 4-0 up. You see the game out at this point, don't you?
Is Lewandowski's contract up at the end of the season?
I think so. Yeah,
I think it is, isn't it? I've seen some chat about him potentially going to Saudi or some ridiculous stuff about him.
What is he now? 30, 35, 36?
I've got to be 30, 35 anyway. Let me just have a quick look.
36.
See.
36, aye.
He's 36, aye. Robert Lewandowski. He's showing no signs of slowing down either, though.
Get him at Ibrox next season.
Tell you what, he's 37. He's 37 in August. So, you know what I mean? That's
so for the start of next season, yeah.
Yeah, he's 37, you know. And saying that, though, he's not running. Running's not a huge part of his game, Alex. You know, so he's just a clever player that's got a good feel for the game and where the ball will be.
But you can fire the ball in the back of the net from pretty much any angle, though.
Onana, Onana doing really well there. Asensio, it's actually took a deflection, Ian.
It has taken a deflection. Asensio was looking for that bottom left-hand corner, Martin, and it hit the knee of a defender and went out for a corner. They're using the corner now. Ball whipped in. Aston Villa queued up at the back post here. PSG looking a wee bit shaky, but they've cleared it. Oh, keeper's right out. Martinez has put it back in.
Got to do better than that.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
Great defending there from Barcelona. Great defending.
It was a poor header for Watkins to go on to. Watkins was never getting that. It was a poor header.
Say, sorry, Alex, I'll bring you in a wee second. The corner's been cleared by PSG. Martinez is right up at the halfway line. He launches it back over. It comes down in to the left back. And it's a simple header to Watkins. Just has to play it over the PSG player. And it's a terrible, terrible header.
Yeah, it made it dead easy for the defender, Martin, just to see it out, you know. And essentially what happened was it alleviated all the pressure on PSG, which, you know, Aston Villa and this typical kind of, you know, British-style football, you know, these guys will go right at it to the end and they'll fancy them chances in front of goal if they get a breakaway. But I tell you what, it'd be robbery if Aston Villa get out of here with 2 each. Robbery.
Just over a good... Was that a good save, Alex?
I think it was a good save. It was a header on target, but why is it took for Borussia Dortmund to be 4-0 down before they actually start getting attacks on the go? They've had a few corners in succession here. It's still a little bit too late, though, in all honesty. Even if they get a goal, I don't think it's going to change much in terms of the tie.
Yeah, possible free kick, maybe / penalty there, Ian, for PSG.
Was there? I was talking to the guys in the comments, so he'll let you.
Just seemed as though there was maybe a wee drag back on Dembele there.
Okay. Well, they're back at it again. Kvara, amazing turn. I mean, he's a level above everybody on this pitch. He really is. I mean, fantastic tonight. How much did they sign him for from Napoli, Alex?
I don't know how much it was.
Alex will know.
I think it was about €50 million. It wasn't a lot. I don't think it was a lot to sign him for. He did have a release clause with Napoli, and he did want to leave, but I'll just check. But I don't think it was that much.
I mean, I wish Lewandowski was coming to us, Paul, but I can't see that happening.
That would be great, wouldn't it? That would be great. Yeah.
So we've got
70 million. It was
70 million. That sounds a bit more like it. 70 million euros.
Aye.
So 20 quid. Right. No, it was PSG all over that. Aston Villa here again, but they just can't find that telling ball. Look where the gap is, Martin. There's no PSG player around the main centre half of the penalty box.
Aston Villa are playing a kind of 5-4-1.
I know, but they've got no central ball to hit right in front of goals. God, that's. You know, PSG are a great example of how well drilled they are at the tippy-tappy stuff, and they're brilliant at it, by the way. And it will invariably always end in them winning more games than losing. But see, when it comes down to it, teams need goal scorers. Feel free to fill in, guys. I
was just about to say, Alex, has Yamal picked up an injury?
No, I think they're just getting him off just to save him from picking up an injury.
I think he was asking a few minutes ago to be brought off. I don't know if it was a slight knock he took.
He was holding his face for a wee bit to be fair, but they brought in Ansu Fati just to see the game out for a bit. But he's one of these players who's just not worked out wherever he's went. You know, he was on loan at Brighton, never really kicked on. He's went back to Barcelona and he's just more of a bench warmer now. I think he thought he was going to get more time, but the fact that Yamal has broke onto the scene kind of stopped any of that happening, in all honesty.
Yeah, that game seems to be. I mean, Barcelona coming forward now, and you've got PSG just on the edge of the Aston Villa box. Both teams have effectively went the same way.
They've pretty much been on the edge of the box the whole second half, Martin. So
what does Birmingham? What does Villa change coming back to Birmingham though to get this game back in their favour?
I think they'll take the game to PSG with a bit of pace and intensity, Alex, as you do in the Premier League. But it's a gamble, isn't it? I still, having seen PSG today, I've got to assume that they've got someone in front of goal that's better than what I've seen tonight. Yeah, because they're clearly missing a forward. Clearly missing a forward.
The only thing I think Aston Villa will probably look at PSG.
That's some great defending, by the way. Great defending.
Alex?
So the Grassi's done really well to hold the ball up, and he's waited on his Bayern getting through. He's passed the ball to him, gets the ball back across. Great shot in, but the defenders were just throwing themselves at it. The ball comes out, and I think it's one of the
celebration, Alex. The celebration for the defender.
Just the fact that he's managed to get it clear, it just shows that they want to keep this clean sheet. But I think they know a goal maybe gives a little bit of hope to Dortmund. They can do something in Germany, the return leg. I highly doubt it, though. I think that the way that Barcelona have played tonight, there's no doubt that they're going to walk through this tie.
Yeah, and Ian, I would just, if I was Aston Villa, I know I said it earlier on, but I would be very, very worried about PSG coming to England because they took apart Liverpool.
Listen.
Oh, it's 4-1. It's 4-1. Oh, the flag is up. The flag is up. Maximilian.
Anyway, Alex.
So the ball was played across and everybody left it alone. His eyes went well offside. Well offside. The ball was played across and they made it a run to get it. Ball was then played back across the backs. Bayer just hits it right in the corner. It's a great finish, but the resultant ball, he was very much offside. But I think it was Giovanni Reina or Julian Brandt.
He's a mile offside, Alex. Yeah.
But it's a great finish, though. But it's still a little bit too late, in all honesty, though, Martin.
Yeah, like you said, I think
I'm starting to feel over here, Martin, that this game, I think both teams are going to happy with 2-1 now. You know, it's kind of got that feel that they're ready for the final whistle. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes are added on because I've got to say, not been much in way of stoppages in the second half.
It'll just be the substitutions, when it was. You get 30 seconds, a sub or something like that.
Yo, here we go. I've seen that. PSG are through. Cut the ball back.
Defending again.
Nicely. Again, Aston Villa. Last defending through the lines. There we go.
It's exactly what you said earlier, Ian. It's just that finish.
Yeah, they don't have a goal scorer, mate, and that might come back to haunt them because a lot of other teams that have been left in this competition do. But PSG are missing an out-and-out goal scorer here. And it's obvious because, by the way, they're very good at everything else. Very good.
Who suits that style, though, for PSG? Who suits that style to be that striker? Because they're very quick when they get forward.
I know a guy called Wigerman. If they want 50 million quid, they could sign him if they want, you know.
Barcelona, Alex, twice there possibly could have made it 5.
They could have. I think there was just a poor pass from Rafinha to get the ball back across in the middle. But again, it's just good defending. But what I said when the goal went in for Dortmund, it's just too late. You know, now they're defending for their lives, but you're 4-0 down. Like the tie's not going to change now.
Yeah, 3 minutes of added on time there as well, Alex.
Yeah, I think it's probably right, but there's just nothing. They're not even attacking the ball anymore. You know, I think they've just let it go that they have lost this game, and they're going to need to do something to turn it around. What do they do? I don't know, because I think they've thrown everything at Barcelona tonight, and they've just not come off.
Yeah, that's a good question from JD there. It says, Ian, has the Villa game been a decent game or is it just a battering with the scoreline matching it? So I'd say somewhere in the middle of that, to be honest. It's not been the best game, to be honest, and Villa have rode the luck, but it's all down to PSG. If PSG don't have a goal scorer and can't take their chances, then that's on them.
It's been a decent second half, Ian, from what I've seen. It's been decent without being brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like all the goals and maybe a bit of excitement is maybe
3 minutes. Sorry, Ian, 3 minutes added on in your game as well.
Yeah, I'm 10 seconds into the extra time. Aston Villa on the break. Turn and hit from Watkins, I think. Was it Watkins? No, Rodgers. Yeah. And set up with Watkins, and Rodgers blasts it high over the bar. Nowhere near it. But that's exactly what Aston Villa can do. Do you know what I mean? So PSG need to be careful here. But if I was a betting man, I think my money would be on, especially after watching PSG do what they did at Anfield, Martin. Mm-hmm. My money's kind of on PSG tonight to go through the semis.
Yeah, I would have to agree just purely not because of how they played tonight, and I've said this 3 or 4 times and I'll say it again.
Yeah.
The way they went over to Anfield and absolutely, completely destroyed Liverpool, albeit it went to penalties. But
albeit Liverpool haven't been great in recent weeks. Do you know what I mean? They've been quite a but yeah, it was still good. This PSG team, I mean, there's no big circus show like there's been in previous teams.
That's just Alex. That's just poor for Dortmund. There was a Chan just passing it right out of the park.
Just passed it right out.
There we go. PSG through. My. There we go. There's the goal. There's the goal. Kvara involved again. That to be fair, 3-1 is the minimum of what it should be. PSG finally get the better of the Aston Villa defence. Centre forward chops onto his right foot, puts it away past the keeper.
Is it poor defending?
I think it is. It's not Dembele. It is
Nuno Mendes.
No, that's who it is. Well done.
It's a lovely pass.
It's a great ball. Great ball.
And you know what? That dummy shot, Ian.
Brilliant.
That is superb. That's a brilliant.
He chopped in with the left. Absolutely brilliant. And the defender and the keeper fell for it.
And it's full time in Barcelona. This is Barcelona 4, Borussia Dortmund 0. A very easy night, you've got to say, for Barca.
And do you know what, Alex? Aston Villa would have fancied this at 2-1, but I think it's now beyond them.
I think so. I think that's the tie done now.
Yeah, I think the tie's done. I don't think Aston Villa are turning over that level of aggregate to that level of team.
But do you know what? I love the goals. I absolutely adore the goals where the strikers just put everybody on their arse. Away and playing again.
Man of the match coming off, Kvara's coming off Uncle's Ramos. Quite rightly so, manager tapping his head on the way past, everybody giving him a standing ovation. What a player.
Yeah.
And interesting to see, I'm starting to see now that I've watched him again a full 90 minutes, to watch him in Napoli as well. Italian football, French football. I think in the Premier League, I can understand why he's not come over there. I think he'd be put up in the air every 10 minutes in the Premier League. He's that type of player. So I think that slower pace and a bit more time in the ball. PSG almost getting a fourth there. Good shot, albeit from outside the box.
Can I just answer? I know that he's a left back at its full time. I absolutely know he's a left back. But when somebody hits a shot, you just say striker. Everybody stop having a go at me. Yeah, Ian, full time PSG 3, Aston Villa 1.
Yeah, listen, 3-1 could have been 6-1. Yeah, it should have been 6-1 if you're to read the stats. With the attempts that PSG had on goal. Feel sorry for Aston Villa because I really would have liked to have seen Aston Villa progress. Listen, it's not over and it's only half time in the grand scheme of things, but I really fancy PSG getting this semi-final. And if Real Madrid aren't at it and if Arsenal aren't at it, PSG have now become my new favourites for this tournament. I like the way they're very composed. They just need to, their conversion rate needs to be better, Martin. They just had so many attempts on goal and only scored 3. 3 in my mind was a bit of a let-off for Aston Villa. And by the way, Aston Villa did look dangerous when they attacked. They did, you know what I mean? So, but I can't see them turning around this type of deficit.
I will say, don't write off Inter Milan, though. They're also a great team as well. And obviously, they're still on the tie. They're winning 2-1 against Bayern. They're a great team as well. They've got some very talented players going forward as well. So don't write them off.
These guys are quite good, but I don't think they're good enough to break down that machine of PSG, Alex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good for PSG, Alex. Even better for Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona should put in a bit of a masterclass. In all honesty, they just showed that you have to be clinical with your chances, and they were. The one that I thought was the goal when it looked like Rafinha headed it over. It's actually a great assist. When you watch it back, he actually means to head it across to Lewandowski, and it's a tap-in, but they just showed that they were able to step up that level. And they brought in subs that didn't actually slow the game down. A lot of times you see that, they bring them on to slow it down. They just kept coming, and there was no way that Dortmund were getting back in that. And I think, similar to what you said, Ian, for Villa, I think it's game over, and I think the tie's done. I think they'll go to... I think they'll probably go over to Germany and score a few more before they even get a response from Dortmund.
Yeah, and Jock Blues just bang on there, Martin, before you wind things up.
So good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw that earlier in the tournament. I don't watch a lot of the French league, to be honest, because it's crap. But it's, you know, so there's a lot of other leagues out there that I'd watched before the French league, but PSG are a level above at the moment, and they make it look so easy, you know.
Oh, so good tonight, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, listen, everybody, that will do us for tonight. Like I said, Barcelona 4, Borussia Dortmund 0, Paris Saint-Germain 3, Aston Villa 1. So I think 99% sure PSG are going through, 100% sure Barcelona are going through. So thank you to Alex and Iain for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed that, folks. Something a wee bit different that we've not really tried. We tried it with internationals, and people seemed to enjoy it. So thank you for joining us tonight. We are back for members at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon, and then we're back later on tomorrow night with all your Rangers coverage as Bilbao come to Ibrox. So thank you for tuning in, folks. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help the show out, and we shall speak again, well, very, very soon.